Dark Clone. Much better. All right. Man. Look, I'm looking at my Discord channel right now, and there's like a regular conversation going on that is like all in with, oh my god, this is like alliance bias, yada yada yada, like that sort of stuff going on. I'm like, oh man, the scorekeeping from some people, it's wild. Anyway, what is up, everyone? This is Coffee with Soul. I'm your host. We're gonna chat, we're gonna talk. It is a good start to the day because the developer panel that had aired earlier this morning, or earlier in the day over at Gamescom, it's already up. So we're going to get to watching this in just a little bit, and then we'll react. I mean, I know there's like a recap over on Wowhead, but I always appreciate, not just looking at the bullet points and stuff, but actually taking a look at, or having a listen to what it is that developers are saying, just in case there's like a little bit of nuance in their words, some of the language. A lot of us love to take like some of the words and usually like wrap it around their neck and choke them with them. But of course, I do like getting that sort of context in case there's anything else to glean that might be misunderstood. I mean, I might be misunderstanding it myself as well, but sometimes those kinds of things are up to interpretation. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope your loots have been merry. I hope that y'all have been doing okay, trying to get all the different BlizzCon coverage. I've been doing my best to try to search around and find all the information that I can. And there's a lot that isn't immediately known or that isn't so widespread. So tomorrow-ish, sometime throughout the day, I'll hope to have finished like a big roundup of all the things, like big and small, that we've learned throughout the week. And then y'all can decide for yourselves, am I excited or what have you. But let's say hi to people. Because that's always fun too. What's up to FaZe? You're the first person to say hi. What's up to Adversus, to True Granted, to Arcadius, to Crit, to Rye. Hey Rye. I never see you reply to any of the things that I've been saying, but well, mostly because I'm kind of like borderline trolling and talking smack in this whole faction score conversation and all that, so I guess I don't mind. Anyway, again, hope everyone's doing good. Let's see, I have a chalkboard in every room in my house so I can count the alliance biases. Good. It's a big chalkboard. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the conversation because we'll quickly get derailed and all that. I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to watch this. Y'all can watch with me, and then we'll now maybe I'll try to not pause throughout stuff, but there might be things that I want to like understand and all that, so bear with me if in case I do that. I'm gonna let the volume be kind of loud. Actually, this is kind of loud. I'm on TV. Ooh.
Here are Ian Hazacostas and Paul Cubit.
And he's watching Hanny.
Hello, Gamescom. Hello. Thank you so much for coming out to join us today. It's going to be an amazing time together talking about the systems and features of Midnight. I'm Ian Hazacostas, Game Director on World of Warcraft.
And my name is Paul Cubit, Associate Game Director, also on World of Warcraft.
Let me give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about in the next 30 minutes. So first off, thank you for your patience over the course of the past week as we've tried to get out all the information about what we're doing in Midnight. Today, we're going to talk about the new Demon Hunter specialization that's coming. new talents,
this one just came
what you're
out,
going to earn
so
on the way to level 90, how the prey
yeah.
system is going to work, but also some new aspects of world content specific to each of the zones of Midnight. We're going to talk about how the leveling experience is going to work and what's in store for new and returning players. Got some updates for the PvPers in the house, and a range of quality of life updates, including some UI improvements. One thing we're not going to talk about a lot today is our housing system. We have a lot of information out about housing. It's been amazing seeing thousands of you check out the demo hands-on over the last few days.
We haven't seen coverage like all year.
We can't wait for everyone to get their hands on this later this year. And that's right, later this year. In our 11.2.7 patch, at the end of War Within, the housing system is going to roll out. Anyone who owns Midnight at that point can claim their home and start decorating it. But everyone who is playing WoW, even if you don't own Midnight yet, can start collecting your decor and getting ready for the expansion ahead.
Okay, so collections.
Without further ado, let me hand it over to Paul to talk about the next few items.
All right, keep your eyes and ears peeled. We got a lot of new information coming out today. We're going to dive pretty deep into the systems and features, starting with this fella back behind me. That's right, the Devourer Demon Hunter. Now you've seen Havoc, you've seen Vengeance. Now it's time to meet the new Demon Hunter spec that turns every fight into a highlight reel. The Devourer is our third Demon Hunter spec. It's a little bit different than our other two specializations. Previously, Demon Hunters only channeled Fel energy to power their abilities, whereas the Devourer uses Cosmic Void powers to power their Annihilation abilities. It's a ranged DPS spec, but not in a traditional sense. You're not going to be standing out at max range, casting spells the entire time. Depending on how you build your character, and we'll take a look at some talents a little bit later, but depending on how you build it, you may be standing at mid-range pretty consistently, or you may be darting in and out in sort of a hybrid build where you're spending some time in melee and then using Vengeful Retreat to jump back. Let's break down the toolkit a little bit.
Opposite of survival,
so first up, this is Void Metamorphosis. This is your iconic Demon Hunter transformation, but with a twist. This is not cooldown based, it's energy based. You have to use Reap, which is your giant kind of scythe attack, to gather up any of the void fragments that you can't reach, or you can just sort of run around and pick them up as you're used to doing with souls. And once you've gathered enough, you can enter into meta. Now once you're in meta, you want to stay in meta as long as possible. Void energy is a little bit different than Fel energy. It's slippery, it's elusive, it wants to get away from you, and you need to devour it, you need to pull it in as much as you can. So you want to stay in this meta as long as possible, and the longer you do, the more damage you'll do as well. I'll share how in just a slide or two. In this shot, you will see Void Ray. This is the Void's interpretation of I-Beam. It's a 25-yard line attack with all sort of the trademarks of I-Beam, where you have the rotation, you can move around, just line up all your abilities and turn them into piles of ash. It's beautiful, it's purple. Important note, when you're in Devourer spec, everything is gonna be purple. Our art team did a killer job, as they always do, to take everything. You're not gonna see any green at all. It's just gonna be void, void, void. Really cool. Speaking of really cool, this is Collapsing Star. This is your big, brutal anime finisher. The way this ability works is you have to be in meta to cast it. So once you get into meta, then you have you unlock the ability to cast Collapsing Star. The more times you cast Collapsing Star in a meta, the stronger and stronger it gets. So like I said, that you want to hold on to that metamorphosis as long as possible. It's got that big raid boss finale energy. Next up, let's talk about hero talents. The Demon Hunter is getting a new spec, and with that, they get a new hero talent tree, and that is called the Annihilator tree. You can see it in the sort of the lower left-hand side there. This is shared between Devourer and Vengeance, and sort of broadly speaking, this is all about dropping meteors on your enemies. If you're Devourer, there will be big, bold void meteors. If you're in Vengeance, they will be Fel meteors, but meteors nevertheless. Devourer will also have access to the Scarred tree. No longer is it called the Fel Scarred tree, it's just simply Scarred. We are inclusive of all types of scarring here. As Demon Hunters, we know we are our scars, that's right. All right, move on. Next up, Void Elf Demon Hunter. This is a new race class combination that is coming to World of Warcraft.
One thing to point out. So Vengeance Demon Hunters, they won't be able to be Felscarred or Scarred anymore. They won't, I don't know what spec that, was like the favorite for them. So, if Vengeance Demon Hunters, well, I'll go, I don't give a shit about, this spec. Instead they're going to be like, oh, cool, I get a new spec to play with. But yeah, I guess they won't be able to, I guess they're going to lose that because they're used to sacrificing and all that. So anyway, moving on.
Next up, Void Elf Demon Hunter. This is a new race class combination that is coming to World of Warcraft. It's unlockable with a short quest line that's available during the 12.0 pre-launch. The Devourer spec will also be available during pre-launch as well. So if you're interested in messing around with Devourer, you can switch over as soon as we get to that pre-launch period before we take the fight to Xalatath at Silver Moon and in Eversong. And the same is true of Void Elf Demon Hunter. There'll be a very short quest line along with that pre-launch where you unlock this character. Now, for those of you who are Horde players in the audience, like myself, you may have noticed this introduces a little bit of an imbalance. The Void Elves are ready to jump into a particular new class, and this is particularly lore appropriate for what we're doing at this time. The World Soul Saga is not over yet. There will be new opportunities for other race class combinations that will make sense with the story as we tell it. So keep your eyes peeled.
What I'm surprised about is like with the Army of the Light that showed up, and with the I forgot the name of the order, the new Paladin order that came up because of Tyr and Trevard and all them. We had a whole quest line for that too. I'm surprised that Paladins are not going to be like a new race class combo for like everyone. Oh, they removed it? Oh, shit. Let me see if I can... Oh, I should have fucking tried to download it first. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Damn. Damn. I doubt I'll be able to get it. I should have saved it like when I first got it. Let me see if I get lucky. I might not be lucky. Oh, it's just deleted? Shit.
Next up, let's talk about talents.
Let's see how far we go.
As you play in Midnight, you're going to get new levels. No big surprise there. You'll level from 80 to 90, and you'll get 10 new talent points as well. The way those are going to break it down is you're going to get 3 points in your class tree, 3 in your hero tree, and then 4 in your spec tree. And you'll earn those sort of alternatingly. The way these work individually is on the class tree, it's very simple. You just got 3 more points. You can use them however you want. If there's some ability in there that you wanted to get to, but you couldn't quite reach it, or you had to make a painful trade-off to get to that point, well, now you might be a little bit more likely to be able to get to that point, and you won't have to make that painful trade-off. In the hero talent tree, there's an additional lane. So we're keeping all the same hero talents, but we're adding 3 new abilities in that 4th lane there. So it's going to take these already iconic and impactful powers and make them even more iconic and even more impactful. And lastly is on the spec tree, we earned 4 points here.
I like how on the concept,
it's like but a couple clarifications first. What you see behind me is the example for the Devourer Demon Hunter. Everything I'm saying here is true for all 40 specs across the game. So the 334 applies to everybody. And the other clarification is you see 3 little dots over to the side of the tree there for those keen-eyed among you. That's just work in progress UI that our team's been using to be able to test these things along the way. What you'd expect this to look like is a little bit more like this, where you'd have, imagine, if you will, a big giant talent point that sits at the bottom of your spec tree with a couple little pips in the bottom of it, and you're able to put 4 points into that. Now, all 4 points should be really impactful, but particularly impactful will be the first one and the last one. So let's take a look at a couple examples of how this will play out on the Evoker, and also on our favorite new spec, the Devourer Demon Hunter. So the first point is going to be a little bit more transformational. This will have a big effect on one of your abilities. In this case, for the Preservation Evoker, I know the text's a little small, but it takes Reversion and gives it a chance to be upgraded into a new ability called Marithra's Blessing. The next 2 points are just going to be
I might as well get screenshots while I can.
Whatever that first thing did, make it even better. And then that last point is the exclamation point that really brings it all home. They should all fit together into a cohesive package. They share the icon, they share the name, they share the fantasy. But an important point to note is that you don't have to put all 4 points in this if you want to. It's not a separate tree. It is part of your spec tree. And so if you want to just go more broad in your spec tree too, there will be opportunities for you to do that. but I expect a lot of people are going to want to check out what's in their Apex talents because they are super duper cool. That's it for talents.
Cool.
Next, I'm going to talk about a feature we've been working on and talking about a bit this week. It's called Prey. So Prey is a new opt-in hunting system that lets you pursue powerful targets across Azeroth and beyond Azeroth, places like the Void Storm, etc.
Okay. It's like old world
It's built to
too.
slot right into how you already play. So whether you're a world quest enjoyer, if you're out gathering, you just like hanging out, Prey should have a good fit for you. It's a little story balance, or a story background, I should say. This is a secretive initiative led by Astalor Bloodsworn. I don't know how many of you are lore nerds like myself out there, but if you remember Astalor, he's the magister who's responsible for, helping the Blood Elf Blood Knights get their paladin powers by chaining up a Naru underneath Silvermoon City. He's not doing that anymore, but he's still sort of got a checkered past, and so he's going to be the person who is going to be leading us along this fight. You kick things off in Silvermoon City, in Murder Row. That's where your new hub is, and this is where you're going to choose who you're going to hunt. Now, how's that going to play out? Well, let's see an example. You might be out in the world fighting an unassuming pangolin, casting Roll the Bones like you do.
Gotcha.
When all of a sudden, your target might show up behind you and cause you to turn around, blow all your cooldowns, make sure you survive. You might be mid-quest. You might be running between objectives. You could be minding your own business. But the point is, this is supposed to be unpredictable. It's supposed to keep you on your toes. This is sort of like a quest. It uses some tech that uses quests, but it's not meant to be like, search 8 footprints and then you found him. We don't know how many things you have to do. You might be finding clues like footprints on the ground. You might be disarming traps. You might be doing other things, but you never really know when these guys are going to show up. Now, if you are the type of player who likes to play with a little bit of a challenge, Prey has you in mind as well. See, there's 3 difficulty levels. There's normal, and then there's hard, and then there's nightmare, and you're going to unlock this as you progress through the system. We all start at normal, but once you get to hard and nightmare, you're going to face a couple different things. First, you're going to see torments. These are additional abilities that these enemies will have, or just you might face as you're on the hunt for these guys. This particular character behind me is struggling to deal with sort of a fear-based torment, but there'll be a bunch of them. There's some fixate-based ones as well. There's some really cool mechanics that'll make these fights a little bit more challenging. In addition, once you're in hard or nightmare difficulty, you are going to have that final fight. Once you've cornered your target and are ready to take them down, that will be a one-on-one fight. See, in normal, you're in the outdoor world. If there's other players nearby, they can help you out, just like any outdoor content. But in hard and nightmare, it's just one-on-one, you and the target, no distractions, no escape. Let's talk about rewards. So there's a couple rewards available through Prey. First, I want to talk about cosmetics. We got a bunch of custom cosmetics, including some really cool looking mounts, like some Mana Worm themed mounts, more than one of those. They're really awesome looking, as well as some Transmog appearances as well. You will also be able to earn power from this. So this is hot off the presses. We've been talking with the team back in California, or back in the States, everywhere. Blizzard's all over the place. This will give you power rewards. Prey will be tied into the outdoor row in the Great Vault, so you'll be able to get really cool gear from that by participating in Prey, up to and including in Hero Tier. So this is just going to give you new ways to play. Think about Delves and how Delves are able to give solo players some really cool opportunities to get awesome stuff. Prey is another way to do that too. All right, Prey is just one of the new things that are going to go into the outdoor world that we can play around with. There's other outdoor features that go into the game as well. When I say outdoor features, I'm talking about, the one-off things that happen in the game every once in a while, things like shipping and handling in Undermine, where you're driving your car around, the soup event in Azure Span, which we all remember and love so much, yes, chef, etc. We made a bunch of these. I'm going to go through a couple of them. The priority here in the philosophy is we wanted to provide a variety of these different things. They should not all feel the same. Some might be built for players who are more into kind of high-intensity combat. Others for more just like crazy moments. Others for folks who are like to, cozy content, to learn more about the lore, etc. First up is Silvermoon Court. This is what you're going to see in Eversong Woods. You'll balance your reputation between the 4 different military groups within Silvermoon City. It's meant to sort of evoke the feelings of the Burning Crusade reputations. You all remember the Aldor and Scryers from there?
Oh, God.
Yes, I see some nodding of heads. Okay, yeah. So it'll feel a little bit like that. And each track has its own cosmetic rewards that come from it. In Zulaman, You will harvest materials for the Loa of Abundance. This is a fast-paced, super buffed collectathon. It's professions themed. You're going to go into caves. You're going to have sort of a timed treasure room feel where you're going to mine as much as you can. You're going to gather as much treasure as you can. It's professions themed. It's not professions required, so anybody can gather these materials. Although if you are a gatherer, you might find a couple additional bonuses. It's also, I should point out that the Loa theming ties this one to Zulaman, but Abundance Caves are actually present in all 4 of the Midnight Zones. These are really fun. I'm looking forward to playing these.
Cool.
Legends of the Heronir is an event that happens in Herondar, and this is an event that invites players to step into the forgotten past of the Harati tribe using magical paintings to embark on bite-sized, lore-rich journeys. This is designed for those devoted lore seekers. You can kind of chase right through these things and complete the objectives as quickly as you want, but there's also lots of opportunities for you to slow down a little bit, read a little bit of text about the past of these folks, discover some lore objects, poke around, learn some history. Really cool stuff. And lastly, in Voidstorm, we have the Stormarian Assault. You're going to be protecting the Void Elves, who are going to play an important part in the story of Voidstorm. As they activate their Singularity Anchor, you all know what a Singularity Anchor is, right? No? It's the thing that you use to purge the Stormarian Citadel of remnant Void anomalies. Well, anyhow, you're going to help them protect that thing. In sort of a wave defense, where it's an action-packed public event where your success is not only defined by how well you fight, but also how well your group places defenses to fend off the endless oncoming waves that are going to attack that Singularity Anchor. Okay, switching things up a bit, let's move on to updated leveling experience. I got to imagine that a lot of you folks here already play World of Warcraft. A lot of folks watching at home probably do as well.
New player.
But if you don't, pay attention. And if you do, maybe think about, if there's been folks that you want to bring into World of Warcraft, but it's been tough. It's intimidating to get people into a game that's been around for 20 years and is so big and huge and monolithic. These are some updates for folks like that. So first, we made some changes to our tutorial experience, Exile's Reach. This has been changed to be to focus players directly into the Dragonflight expansion. We're doing that by adding some key iconic characters to that feature. You're going to see Wrathion there. You'll see Khadgar, Alexstrasza, a bunch of others as well.
Damn.
And the story is going to be about them going off and embarking on their mission to the Dragon Isles to learn about the history of the dragons. It will culminate with you being taken directly to Waking Shores to continue that story in the Dragonflight experience for new players. Now, you'll still have Chromie time if you're playing an alt. You can go play whatever expansion you want, but for a new player, that sort of core progression will take you directly to Dragonflight. And we've made a bunch of changes to the Dragonflight expansion as well with new players in mind. So first, you'll level through those first 4 zones. But then, as opposed to before, when you get to the end of Thaldrazis and you're at the gates of the raid and you know that Razageth is gnarly and you want to take the fight to her, but you need a whole bunch of people to do that, instead of that, you're going to go straight to fighting Razageth. We've added a story mode raid version of the Razageth fight.
That's
so
cool,
you can,
man.
as a solo player, along with 9 game-controlled allies, take down Razageth, see how that story resolves.
I wonder how
and then
far
after
that will
it keeps
go back
going. You get
eventually.
to keep going into Zeralet Caverns, play through that zone as a leveling player with a leveling appropriate rewards, and then you get to fight against Sarkareth in another story mode raid. Y'all can
Won't
probably
I
see where
max
this is
out
going. If
before
you know
then,
the
though?
story of Dragonflight, then you continue into the Emerald Dream and then fight against Farak. We're super excited about this. This is the first time that new players have been able to play through the entire story of an expansion while they're leveling through the game. And doing that, this will take them to level 70. That's not quite 80. For 70 to 80 is going to be done doing something different, which I'll get to in just a sec. But first, has this ever been you? Maybe you're a returning player to the game, you haven't played in a little while, and you are greeted by the 3 horsemen of a quest log full of quests that you don't remember, a bag full of items that you don't remember ever gathering, and then a talent tree full of talents that you don't really know what those icons
Oh, I think I'm cut off. That's it. Maybe. Yep. That's as far as we go.
and drop out. So after 2 minutes, if you're like, oh yeah, I remember how to play Paladin, this is easy, then you could just drop right out. If you play all the way through, you'll get a full set of gear that's level appropriate to whatever level you stepped in this place at, so you'll be ready to just jump right into the fight. And we've also added some improvements to the tutorials as well. So first, we've added a skywriting tutorial, which will make it easy. If you never learned how to play skywriting or to do skywriting, dragon riding as it was called back in the Dragonflight expansion. You'll learn how to do that. And it'll add a tutorial to learn how to interrupt. So if you've ever been in a group with folks who don't seem to know how to interrupt, the returning player experience will get you covered there as well. And lastly, we have the War Within recap. This is a feature we've added that in case you missed the War Within expansion, or if just parts of the story, maybe it's just been a little while since you played the War Within, no worries, we've got you covered there as well. So this is a quick, couple hours long experience which will take you through the entirety of the story of the War Within. It starts at the Isle of Dorne, through the Ringing Deeps, all the way through Koresh.
Is it like this?
And you'll get to see all the big cinematics. You'll get to see what happens with all the characters.
Guess so.
It would normally take a couple dozen hours to play through all these quests, but this will just take a much quicker time. Anybody can play this. If you want to do this right before you go into midnight to bring yourself current, that's great. If you don't want to, that's fine. Everybody gets that. We got to fight Xal'atath anyways. And if you're a new player, this is how you will level from 70 to 80. And instead of having to, it'll be really quick. It'll be just like play through this, again, couple hours long experience, and you'll be able to hop right into midnight once you're ready.
That's pretty cool.
A new update I wanted to share with y'all about the new player experience, all these things that we're talking about. New player experience, returning player experience, and the War Within recap. These are going to be available in the final patch of the War Within, 11.2.7. So a little bit earlier, folks wanted to start getting warmed up.
Nice.
If you are thinking about that friend that you wanted to invite in, maybe they can get in a little bit earlier, start collecting some housing decor, and level a new character.
Got to do like a welcome back.
Okay, that does it for me. Next, I'm going to hand things over to Ian, who's going to talk to you about a couple other features, starting with PvP. Ian, take it away.
Thank you, Paul. Hello again. So yes, PvP. A major new PvP feature coming in Midnight is the Slayer's Rise battleground. This battleground is set in the Voidstorm, and it is a 40v40 epic battleground inspired by Alterac Valley, Isle of Conquest, and that general large-scale vibe.
Pipe capture.
Here's a look at the overall layout of the map and how it's going to work.
Yo, that looks like a HOTS map.
The setting for this map is a conflict between these two powerful warlords in the Voidstorm, these Dominar, that are fighting for control, and Alliance and Horde forces find themselves thrust into the middle of the conflict, each allied with one of the opposing Dominar. You're going to start on opposing sides of the map, initially run to the middle for a wild 40v40 brawl over an initial control point that will give you an early advantage in the map. We know people are going to fight it out anyway, so let's encourage it and build that into the flow. From there, it breaks down into each side trying to push down a lane towards the opposing base, destroying their defenses, killing key NPCs along the way, and ultimately trying to defeat the opposing Dominar. But you'll be breaking off as well to recruit neutral forces to aid your side to help push that lane. So every side is going to be doing a mix of attacking, defending, and recruiting forces to help lead their side to victory.
So can I kind of do PvE?
Super excited to have a new battleground coming in Midnight. And also, this area that's used as a battleground will be accessible in the outdoor part of the Voidstorm zone. And this is going to be a place for those of you who love world PvP to come battle it out with each other.
So they're
this
making an
area is
Ashram,
really designed with interesting points of conflict in mind. There's other, this is where you'll find your PvP vendors and more. This area does have regular world quests for those who don't have war mode on, but really you're going to want to turn on war mode to get the most out of this experience.
That's
if
cool.
you like world PvP, this is the place to be. You can find your people and battle it out.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
When we think about PvP in World of Warcraft, we've heard feedback from our PvP community over the years that they'd love to see more support. PvP is amazing, it's deep, it is endlessly replayable, but the reality is it can also be really hard to approach 20 years into the game's history. There's so much to learn, people are so good at it, and oftentimes people check out PvP and feel like, okay, I just got destroyed, I don't know that this is for me, even if they do enjoy PvP in other games. But so many other games of different genres have a mode where you can initially kind of learn the maps, learn the rules, learn combat against bots. And that's an easy on-ramp to kind of build your confidence to make sure that you know what you're doing before you match up against other players. And so that's what training grounds are coming in Midnight. And this is inspired by a battleground brawl that we've had running for a while called Comp Stomp. This is kind of expanded and revamped. In addition to Arathi Basin, you'll also be able to play on Silver Shard Mines and the Battle for Gilneas, facing off against AI opponents
still get
that are a bit
conquest, though?
smarter than the bots that we've had in the past, that are going to test your skills a bit, teach you how the battlegrounds work, teach you how opposing classes work, and kind of give you an on-ramp into PvP from there. Super excited to roll this out in Midnight and hopefully introduce a new generation of players to the fun that World of Warcraft PvP can offer.
Yeah, I want to know if we can get shit out of it, though, you know?
All right, I want to talk about some UI and general quality of life improvements. So over the last few months, we've been doing a lot of work in War Within to improve the baseline UI experience with things like the cooldown manager, combat assistant, and more. That's going to continue in Midnight and beyond. One area that we want to focus on is our nameplates. We understand that when you're in the heat of combat, this is the best window into what's going on, the status of your enemies, and what you need to respond to. And our default nameplates currently don't give you all the information you might want. We really want to improve your ability to see and customize buff and debuff display on nameplates. We also want to be able to call out important lethal casts. That's something that we're going to build in on the encounter design side. If there's a cast that probably is going to wipe you if it gets off, that should be a larger highlighted cast bar so you know it's a high priority interrupt. You shouldn't need an add-on or an external guide to tell you that. The game should be doing it itself, and we're really excited.
Whoop, whoop. Am I for sure cut off now? Maybe. Maybe.
Tool for that, the game should give you that information. And so we have fully featured damage meters. These are also going to be sort of server-side authoritative. So compared to add-ons where maybe someone is out of range or in a different phase and you lose
skipped the part
track
about
of
damage.
the information
I
about
can't
what they're
skip
doing.
ahead, but we're
Here,
getting
we're going
damage
to keep
meters.
track of it on our end, and so they should always be perfectly accurate. Next up, this is a fun one. How many of you use DBM or bigwigs? Right? Basically, since the beginning of raiding, 20 years ago plus,
Those are
people have
interesting
relied
looking
on add-ons
notifications.
to let them know when a major boss ability is coming up. That's just how WoW raiding has been for nearly everyone who raids. And yet, again, you've had to turn to external tools to do that, and we feel that's not the experience that our players deserve. So we are building in a lot of that functionality into our encounters in Midnight. So you can see a timeline of major critical abilities that are coming up, and alerts if you're targeted by something, things along those lines, to give you the information you need to overcome the challenges that are facing you. Those are just a few of the user interface improvements that are coming in Midnight. There are going to be many more at launch and to follow. This is a project that has a long future ahead of it. We really want to make sure that our base user experience is the very best that it can be. Transmog. Really, Transmog, as true WoW aficionados know, is the real endgame of World of Warcraft.
Damn right.
We want to make sure we are supporting it as best we can. So nearly 15 years after the introduction of Transmog, we have coming up an overhaul to how the system works. No longer will you have to go reapply the appearance of your choice every time you get a new upgrade, every time you get a quest reward or a raid drop or whatever else. Instead of transmogging items, you will now transmog the slot. And so if you have something set as your helm appearance, and you get a new helm,
I like how random that
going
is.
to inherit
It's like
the
my
look that you want
transmog.
to have. You'll still pay a gold cost to set that like head slot or back slot appearance, but as you just get new items, you can just put those on, there's no additional cost, and that'll just be the appearance that you have. But this also gives us the opportunity to add more opportunities for customization and self-expression in the transmog system. Because not only can you save one outfit, you'll be able to unlock and save many, many outfits. And then, if you want, you can tie those outfits to specific situations. So if you want one outfit that enables when you go into town, or when you go into your home, or when you go into a dungeon, or when you change your specialization, you can map those things to each other, and it'll just automatically happen. So we're very excited for kind of the depth of customization
Rest
this
area,
is going
house,
to bring.
character select, world, delves,
As with many of our
dungeons, raids,
systems,
arenas,
this is
and
just kind of the
battlegrounds.
beginning. This is Transmog 2.0, but we're going to continue to build on this foundation in the months and years ahead. So thank you for coming out. speaking of the months and years ahead, really, it's so exciting to be here this week, finally pulling back the curtain, revealing what the team has been hard at work on in making World of Warcraft Midnight. But this is just the beginning. We're going to head back to California, and in just a few weeks, we're going to have our alpha test beginning. So stay tuned for that with beta to follow. We have so much more to share with you. It's going to be a very exciting fall. We can't wait to see you all in Midnight in early 2026. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of Gamescom.
Okay, so let's see if I'm able to rewind and go back to like certain shots.
Plates.
So all right, so I want to try and get a closer look at. Okay, I can't really get a closer look. So here's what the nameplate stuff is going to look like. Now I'm seeing here, and you guys might not be able to see this very well because we're on stream and all that. So nameplate information includes health percentage, health values, and yada yada yada. So at least with like this here, actually you could see it here too. You can see health values and you can see the percentages. It's just not shown here. So this looks pretty clean, honestly. I can kind of see here, like there are two different kinds of cast bars. There's like the small one, which is for probably the basic cast. And then there's this large one, which is like a big fuck you sort of cast. So, okay, I'm going away with Plater. Yeah, screw that. Nothing really new. I mean, if you don't count housing or prey or the new dungeon or the new raid, but well, I mean, I guess we're just talking about systems and all that stuff. But yeah, and then simplify nameplates, show off-screen nameplates, stack nameplates, yada yada yada. Size. Oh, for people like me, who needs big ass mouse cursors and big ass plates, I'll take that. Yeah, so that seems pretty powerful. Let me go back to the boss alert part if I can. Okay, so this is really hard to see, but from the looks of it, okay, so I'm reminded of an add-on that used to there's an add-on that notified you of things that would happen based on like an icon, and then it would slide down like a pipe thing. So I can kind of see like this pipe and abilities are going down, they're going down, they're going down, and then it reaches this 5 mark, and I guess it's, this is like the 5, 4, 3, 2, and it's gonna do that, and then the thing actually fires off. That's what it seems to look like. That's cool. And then you have like those, and then you have these notifications that are up there. Like that stuff I don't really care about. Like, I hope that this comes in a different form. I think I prefer the bar form. But I kind of like this too, because you also see a description of that that shows it. So yeah, week ore there. Oh, I mean, I'm sure like weak ores are still like vastly, add-ons period. Weak ores vastly more powerful than what the game maker can ever provide, because we have these infinite wants. Everyone has like these different things, these different bits of customization that we want, and that's what add-ons provide. That's why add-ons have been such an awesome thing for years and years and years. But clearly they want to have something like that feels more baseline too. But also they're trying to change combat in such a way that it doesn't feel like you need to have those things. But then we will anyway. Okay, so what can we glean from this? What can we glean from this? So we see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is about halfway through. So we're looking at like 20 something odd outfits. There's a purchase outfit slot, so we can buy more slots if we want to. But let's go with let's round up and say 30, right? 30 different outfits that we can like switch between at no cost. And then from the looks of it, these can be assigned, I guess, a situation. So items sets, custom sets, situations. So if we go to the other shot, if we can get to it. At some point this video is going to break. And then I won't be able to like see any more stuff.
No longer will you have to go real.
Yeah, I'll have to wait until it goes to that page. People still don't understand why this is great. Add-ons not being required is huge, and add-ons slow down your game. I'm going to be glad to drop later. I'll be happy to get rid of that, because honestly, like the player profile that I happen to use is just like someone's profile. I just grabbed it, I made a few tweaks, I'm like, okay, cool, it's mine. But then there's all sorts of extra things that it does that I don't quite understand. So being able to pick up on a tool that at least is something that I can pick up and try out for really try it out for myself, instead of like just download it and like, okay, cool, I got it. Okay, where's that thing? Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's the thing with situations. So we have all these things here. So location. Okay, so situations enabled. Location, house, movement, all movement. Choose specific situation options below to automatically change it to this outfit. You must meet all conditions listed for the change to occur. If multiple outfits are equally valued, one will be chosen randomly. So, if I really wanted to, I can have like 30 different random transmog sets, and then all the conditions will always be the same. So then, like, if I like go from one place to another, like my shit, dude. If I'm like traveling through and I'm walking through stuff, like, well, my outfit just like boom, boom, boom. Oh man, I'm gonna cause seizures. I guess it's private. Like whatever I'm doing right now, I can still see it. Or it's like full privilege, and they were able to flag my YouTube account and let me see it, which I doubt. So, I ain't that special. I saw on chat that Tally got cut off too, so there's no way that I'm favored over someone like him. So, when are you gonna fix the level 80 character boost? Hopefully soon. You know. Why haven't they made them specific? Conditional stuff is always messy. What do you mean by that, Kira? There's a real upload for. Okay, so someone did manage to save it. Typically, someone was asking earlier, hey, you shouldn't have to save it. I do save these things normally because I want to save the footage for, like, you know, videos and all that stuff. Actually, you said someone uploaded it? Can you give me the link for that? And I'll just download it right now. So, because I want to make sure that I have something for like footage for tomorrow's video too. Is that a share outfit thing? So this is save outfit. I don't see a share outfit though. But then sharing outfit has been a thing, right? So how many situations can we create for ourselves? All right. Oh no. I think there was another shot with like a pull down. Yeah, there is. So here we go. So for the locations, it includes all, because it could be all locations. If you just want to have, so if you don't want to apply a situation to all of your outfits, you don't have to. What's wrong with making it raiding, battleground, arena, world, rest? It's sort of like that. Follow with modifiers from gear sets and spec. Isn't that? Well, we don't quite know how all the pull downs work here yet, so they probably can be very general. Like, you don't have to set very complicated situations in order to change. You probably could. So maybe we can just base it only on location, and like that's it, right? And those the comments weren't happy. Well, it's a WoW video. Of course they're not happy. That's not it. That's I think it was cool because of glitches in the video. Were there actual glitches? I mean, I don't know if there were glitches or whatnot. I mean, I saw the pauses here and there, but oh well. But anyway, world, delves, dungeons, raids, arenas, battlegrounds. It freezed for 20. Oh, did it? Oh, okay. If that was the case, then yeah, then they would need to re-encode it and all that stuff. Yeah, if they screwed up, then yeah. So there were some legit freezes. I think I remember seeing a freeze on the other panel that we saw too. and there was missing audio. Oh, that's pretty bad then. So, well, in that case, I understand why they would pull it. That sucks. Bad on them though for not doing post-production checks before it ends. I mean, I mess up too, but I'm one guy. You know, they got a team and all that. Something expectations and all that. I want to be able to set it based on atmospheric conditions like cold set in cold areas, rain set when it rains, and so on and so forth. I think that's now that'd be kind of weird though. Like, now one thing you can do, it won't be automatic, but you can at the very least have something set here, and then I'm 100% certain you could just hotkey into an outfit that you want. So it's not perfect, it's not automatic, right? But you can at least hit a button and then change it to the thing that you want. I mean, things like going into cold areas. I mean, they can. I am confident too that they will have an API available where they can set it up to where, okay, if you're in a certain zone, then it will go. Then it'll change, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. That would be neat. Now, as for weather, I don't think there's an API to track weather. Is there? Not to my knowledge. If there is, cool. Then I think an add-on might be able to cover that too. So which is true about Delve 7 or 11? I have now heard Blizz staff say both. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Graham. I only learned about Apex Talents yesterday, and it seems like a pretty big expansion feature. I think the Apex Talents is kind of cool. I mean, it's basically a another talent. It's just a giga talent, kind of like hero talents are a giga talent. I can live with zone-based transitions. I mean, that'd be neat. 10 normal delves, 1 nemesis delve. Yes. So there are 10. So there's a list somewhere that I put it out. Whatever. There's 10 delves, and then the 11th one is the nemesis. Yes, I think there are some articles that said 7. So something got flubbed there, unfortunately. You mean? Let's see. I would love a more warm-looking set for snow zones and a more cool set for jungle areas. I mean, given that we have, this many right away, and possibly more because you can purchase an outfit slot, and they were talking about that in an interview as well. Whoa, dude, look, see that? Oh shit! Okay, this is the biggest feature right here. Look at that. Look. It's a random button. Yo, okay. I'm not gonna take credit, but I think that's cool. That's very cool. They got a random button. See, this right here, this is endgame. This is the endgame button right there. Boop. You think it's gonna be a random outfit, not random piece? It could be. I think that'd be a crime. Yeah, why would it be? Yeah, why would it be a random outfit? Because I'm here in this UI, right? So why do I need a random button for that? I'm gonna say this is random for like all the transmog, because this menu right here is the actual transmog menu. So because you see, like, there's the gold cost there, which is unfortunately there. So yeah, cool. It would have. No, I'm not gonna complain. This is pretty much what I wanted. This is almost exactly what I wanted, with the added bonus of the transmog by slot instead of your gear. So this is cool. Random button should be free. That's kind of a fair take. I think that's a fair take. It's gonna look trashy. Might as well let it be free. That's all funny though. They just, yeah, I saw that. I heard that they removed it. So, but I still happen to be here, so I'm just going to enjoy it while it's here, and I'm taking like some screenshots while I can. So, yeah. Yeah, I've been supported when they've said, oh, we want to retain transmogging the item instead of the slot because, we still want to make it feel like, when you get new gear, you can still you can at least appreciate first seeing it or something like that. But whatever, fell over. We got and now we're getting this, and still this is a huge improvement. So I'm a big fan of this change here. Hopefully they'll let you flag some pieces of gear for each slot as favorites, and you can just random between favorite items. Maybe. I mean, there doesn't seem to be like a lock button like Transmog Roulette and Better Wardrobe allows, so that you can only randomize like certain things. I mean, it's like with this many outfits though, you can create like this sort of feel where, okay, you set up one outfit, but I want to set up another outfit that looks the same, just slightly different, but then you could just have another outfit for it. Now, what's going to happen though is that there's going to be a really big initial cost to this, because think about this: there's like 20 something, 30 or so outfits. For each one, wouldn't you need to transmog and set this up? So if let's pretend that each outfit is very different from each other, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold a pop, basically, is what you're looking at for each of these when you first set it up. So personally, I don't see myself setting up a lot of situations. Or I'm sorry, not situations. A lot of outfits. Not yet. If I do come across something like really cool, then awesome. For the most part, y'all know me. I just like hitting the random button, so I'm totally cool with that. But just keep that in mind. This initial cost is going to be a little bit high. Now, one thing to consider as well is how much will it be actually to change these outfits, because this isn't a real number, because this is 894 gold, 673 silver, 532 copper. That's not a real denomination there. So I wondered to myself, because we're gonna transmog by slot instead of gear, it doesn't matter what the gear is anymore. So does that mean we're going to decouple the transmog cost from what item level the gear is? It might be like that, and I hope so, because it wouldn't really make sense. Now the drawback is some folks who try to save gold, they use heirloom gear as their like, hey, I'm in town, boom, I switch to this, and they can mix and match, or not mix and match. They can change their transmog on the cheap because it's just heirloom gear that they're changing around. They might not be able to do that anymore. So for folks who dress up like that, this is gonna kind of suck. In the long run, though, with all these different kinds of outfits, I think overall this is gonna be like a really cool savings and something that lets people enjoy. That's the big thing. It gives people more of an opportunity to enjoy all these different collections that they've been building, because, hey, look, it's a trading post month. Here's all the free stuff that you get, basically, for just playing the game. Or like, hey, here's like some promo or whatnot. Or, hey, here's all this other gear that you've been getting just because you've been doing achievements and other content and all that. And now you have an opportunity to enjoy it in a way that doesn't feel, well, all that bad. So my hopes are that at least when housing comes out, we'll get an opportunity to change our outfits and all that from there. But ideally, I think to myself, like, to me it does and it doesn't make sense. Like, I want to be able to go to my house and adjust my wardrobe and transmog and all that stuff for free. However, transmogrification is canonized as this ethereal thing. So, like, it's magic. And you use that magic. I want to steal that magic for myself. You know what I mean? I want to know what that movement dropdown is. Are they going to change outfits on mounting and during combat? I wonder how much of a performance hit that is. I mean, we've seen that is a good question though, because I notice whenever I do a transmog thing, there's like this little micro stutter. So if we get into combat, uh-oh. But also, it doesn't say combat or not combat either. It just says, you know, at least location-wise, world, delves, dungeons, raids, arenas, battlegrounds. So once you get in, your outfit changes. As for movement, I don't know. It could be mounting. But I guess it depends on the situation you make for yourself as well. Which is the way we've gotten playable ethereals, which have a racial free transmog. There's that too. I've always thought that the gold cost for transmogging as an in-game gold sink to pull some out of the economy. It's not a bad thing to have, but I've been preaching to the clouds that once we got into the 1,000 gold range, you know, there are folks out there who are like, okay, I want to change my clothes. Why do I need to go out and do some questing and do some world quests and get myself a loot box so I can get the gold so I can change my threads? Why should I have to do that? Because under that logic, if I want to hop onto a different mount, I should have to pay for it. If I want to switch my pet out, you know, whatever my displayed pet is, I should have to pay to change that. And I should pay to change my title. I think that's dumb, right? That would be insane. People would flip their shit. So why is Transmog different? You know, but I'm also not saying make it free, but somehow curb it, control it a little bit better, make it not feel like this constant inflating thing, and make it more fair. And this is a huge step in that direction. So no complaints here. I'm not a player that spends more on transmog than I do in repair. Yeah, I spend probably like 30 grand a week on transmog, just changing stuff. So now it's going to be remixed. It's the reason I don't bother with transmog. The cost, and yeah, it's obnoxious. You know, it's this cost that has nothing to do with, you know, your combat. You know, it's one thing to have like, oh, I need consumables. You know, I want to perform well on my team, blah, blah, blah. There's a cost to it. Okay. But then, you know, swapping out, you know, collecting stuff, if there's a cost to it, sure, I'll pay the price. I'll do it. But if I get a free transmog Murloc suit from the trading post, it's like, okay, cool, I got it for free, but if I want to use it, every time I want to use the full outfit, then I'm going to throw down whatever amount of gold that it takes to change all those slots into the Murloc suit, and then I got to change again to swap out of it, and like it balloons. One thing that we haven't seen on that we don't see on our statistics is how much have we spent on transmog. I'm probably not the worst, but I'm pretty bad. Like I said, 20 to 30 grand a week on swapping outfits. You know, because people will have me do the roulettes and all that stuff, and I'll throw down each time. Or sometimes, you know, or whenever I'm shooting videos or whatnot, I'm on live servers. You know, I'm not. It would be a savings if I'm like, okay, I need to get footage now. Let me switch over to PTR, so that way I'm using PTR gold instead of real gold and all that. Like that's a pain in the ass, right? Yeah, that person who said that that someone uploaded the thing. Where's? Oh, actually, let me just try to find it myself. How about that, buddy? Do. I don't see it nowhere. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, huh? Whoops. Okay, so Mage Master has a thing. Okay, cool. Let's see how this one looks. From Chog? Is this the one of the admins for is this the admin for MMO Champion? That'd be kind of funny. Alright, so there's that. Can't you just rewind the stream to watch it? No. It's not that easy. Be nice, but no, it's not that easy. So instead, oh, here, I'm like, put that away. Am I gonna stream the cosplay? No. That and is it on like the actual Gamescom panel or whatever? Or is it actually playing on a Gamescom stream? They took the video down. Why did I reload? Relax. Relax. Because someone else saved it. So and now it's here. Okay, whatever. Like we already watched it though, so I'm just kind of like skimming through now. Okay, what other little screenshots or whatnots are there? Oh god, they have giant freaking... Is this a VLC thing? Disable. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, can't have that. Alright, so any other important screenshots? Let's see. Okay, so we have this. So we have Martha. So these are the Apex talents. I'm not sure how I feel about it being... yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it looking like that. I just thought it was just going to be a 4-point talent, just go like pump, 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 and like that's it. Instead of multiple clicks. Yeah, because it's like you have to go, you start from the left, boom, 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 and then you go right, and then you get like the cool thing. So for Preservation Evokers, Essence abilities have a chance to infuse your next reversion with the power of Green Dragonflight, upgrading it to Mirtha's Blessing, where you spring a bloom of life from your target, healing them and up to 5 of the allies within 30 yards of your target. Blooms may heal your primary target multiple times if no nearby injured enemies are present, so it doesn't feel wasted. That's cool. Reversion protects allies, reversing 4% of all damage taken and healing them instead. That's neat. And then finally, Dream Breath's instant healing is increased, and Dream Breath has a 100% chance to grant this. Okay, that's cool. This one seems more straightforward for Devourer Demon Hunters. So Collapsing Star, your Godfinger, always crits, and then the 2-pointer is you do more damage. And the crit strike damage is increased by 100% of your crit strike chance. I think they mentioned it was mostly so that way it makes crit still feel valuable for the Devourer spec. And then finally, the last one, entering Void meta causes your soul to erupt, generating 10 lesser soul fragments to increase the duration of your meta, and granting immediate access to Collapsing Star, because Collapsing Star has a requirement of some sort. That's right, because you have to be in meta to do it. And then I'm guessing you need to like have some resource in order to do it as well. I'm sure you can spend talent points on other things instead of picking the bottom one. Yeah, which is kind of cool. So it's like, if you only care about like this thing right here, or if you don't want it at all, you can instead put 4 points into your existing tree. Now, of course, keep in mind, between the class and spec trees, they might do some revamps and tweaks and stuff, but fact of the matter is, you can potentially have extra points to play around with and create for yourself a cool build in case the Apex talent isn't valuable for you. But I have a feeling that they're probably going to try and make it valuable, at least for like... It might be a situation where it's like, okay, the Apex talent, you know, rank 4 is really good for like single target, but you might as well just stick with the rank 1 because it's fine universally, or something like that. Yeah, so I expect that sort of balance to happen, where it's going to be probably situationally ideal, but not universally. So I'm going to count on at least always having 1 point into the Apex talent. The rest will, you know, I may be interested at first to check out what else I can do to like break the normal builds that we have. I hope they give the Void Demon Hunter some cosmic looking eyes. Blue, cosmic blue. I mean, think about Ragallon, right? Ragallon was like bluish, I guess. I wonder what kind of server-side expense Transmog system takes as a whole. I'd imagine that the only reason why there's a cost associated is to discourage the player from doing it constantly, although with them doing this, maybe it isn't a logistic issue. I don't know, man. I don't know. Thank you, Deadpridge. Appreciate it. Yeah, happy to help. Yeah, the plan today, I'll still be here for at least a little bit, but the plan today is to do a recap of this right here. Because it's like, you know, some of it's new information. I'm not going to talk about every little detail, but there's some significant new and updated information. But on Sunday, that's going to be like, that's the big daddy. That's where I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see, how much did I write so far? How much do I need to rewrite? I have about... okay, that's not so bad. I have about 3 pages of stuff, but it still needs to get like filled out. So it's yeah, I got walls of text that are coming. So the big recap is going to come tomorrow, and I hope I get a couple clicks out of that. One of the devs says in Devourer you will not see any fell. It'll be all blue, actually purple. We are getting stat squished in midnight. Yeah, it's funny that they didn't talk about that. There are things that they didn't talk about, that they have not talked about yet, that I'm kind of curious about. Like, I'm still curious about lumber. They talked about lumber a number of times, and that's it. But I guess we're waiting for 2 more talks. There was a talk with... There's going to be a talk, or there's been a talk. So here's the Mr. GM one. Let's take a look at this one. And then there's going to be a talk with Talias and Nevitel as well. If that hasn't happened already. So, all right. So, there's no live stream. There's no VOD. Kexman has it in there. So, boom, boom, boom. So we're going from 700 to 100. That's a big dip, and that's all we got so far. So was that the only new thing? Oh yeah, I saw that what's his name, that Ian Hazakostas was at the Echo stream. Bias, but that's cool though. I think that's a pretty neat thing. From what I heard, like, you know, there wasn't anything to like learn. He was just there to like hang out for a bit.
How about that?
Which is pretty cool.
You guys were just like 25 minutes away across town.
We're so
what
glad.
An opportunity.
So glad that you made
Yeah,
space in the
that far.
schedule to come along, because of course
it's a pleasure.
we absolutely love.
Yeah, that's neat. So. They said that they said lumber would be integrated into our already existing professions. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. Like there's a lot, and I think I need to rewatch some of those streams because some of them I just missed information. If anyone happens to know off the top of their head, that would help me out a lot. So that way I can spit it back at folks in tomorrow's recap. The way they're delivering the information is really bad compared to a normal BlizzCon. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it that much tomorrow. I'm just going to mention, hey, it sucked. It sucked. There were it feels like there were last minute changes that were made, but I'm not going to get into like the speculation of it because honestly, we're going to move on. Okay, not everyone's going to move on, but I'm going to. Because, yeah, why? I'll give my feedback and then push forward. So, but that's why I really want to, do a good solid recap for tomorrow. So that way, people who are like still lost, like it's like okay, here's all the info, boom, there it is. So. Day 70 of info dripping to the next expansion. How do you feel? Good. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not the type who gets exhausted by this sort of stuff because for me this is the job, so I don't mind it so much. I do have negative feedback about how it was presented and all that stuff, but otherwise, no, I'm excited about the expansion. Fuck yeah, man. I still want. One thing that I am disappointed about is I really expected Paladin race class combos to just be a thing. It feels like it makes way too much sense as early as Dragonflight. I thought it was going to be a thing. It wasn't. War Within didn't really give much of a chance to really highlight on that. Midnight definitely does, but it's still not being a thing. So that's like just an expectation that I have at this point. Like they're just next in line. Give it to everybody. It's as easy as this. All right, I'm gonna make shit up. Okay, bear with me. Terralion is like, yo, dudes, I'm recruiting for the Army of the Light. Who wants in? And people are like, me, let's go. It could be that easy. It could be easy as Trevard being like, hey, I got my own new Paladin order, and look who's got my back. And Tyr's like, yeah, I got his back. And everyone's like, oh shit, he's got Tyr. Oh, fuck that Army of the Light shit. We're gonna join him. Paladins, let's go. And then they just join up. Easy. To me it's kind of like right in front of our faces. It's just not happening yet. Maybe Tyr's like, oh, I'm cooking some new mounts because there's a lot of you races, and this takes a while, so hold up. Sure, Goblin Paladin, be hilarious. Sure, that'd be pretty cool if they had like this kind of like light based charger tank kind of looking thing. That'd be sick. Or there would be like this glowing golden undead horse, and then everyone's surrounding that person, and they're like, I don't know if this works. And then the undead paladin's like, shut up, yeah, it works, look, and then he calls the light and everything, but then people be looking at him like, but then your horse, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. So undead paladins, can very much be a thing, but they're going to be asked questions. They just got to pay the light to pass the vibe check required to use it. The fact they milked out Void Elf race, Magcar Orcs to be playable means everything can be done. They just want to do it. I feel like when they did allied races for BFA, some of them felt kind of phoned in. Not phoned in, but it's like, okay, we'll do something, but we don't know what else to do with them. Like Vulpera, like they're cool, but what else do you do with them? Maghar, that can be tapped into like really hard, but what else can we do with them? So we already have an. Oh yeah, I know. I'm just talking about playable undead, or playable undead paladins. That's all. I also don't be surprised if paladins for all happens in the next 2 mini patches before midnight. Can, but I would have expected. I guess the question, Red, is why not mention it then? It's a quick drop of news that'll make people be like, big W, big W. So, but they didn't. So maybe it's not happening. All-knowing, all-powerful, but it needs your money, including Goblin Paladin. Yeah. My theory is we'll get a patch with Belmeth and Merge still involved, and it's the newest world tree and affected Herondar, and we'll see Night Elves involved in that storyline. Could be. It could be. Maybe not at launch, but it could be down the line. Sure. If the story goes in a place where it makes sense, cool. So when people talk about like the Horde Alliance bias and all that stuff, to me it just kind of sails over my head. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, this is just where the story's going, and they're sucking up all the characters that are involved with that. It does happen to be Alliance, and so I get why people are upset about it, but that's just kind of where it went, unfortunately. Like, I wouldn't want them to force it in, like imagine if we went to if in this patch with Ghost of Koresh, it's like they're like, all right, Thrall, let's go, and Thrall's like, me? And they're like, yeah, because there's elementals over on Koresh and they need to be tamed, and Thrall will be like, I'm not like void aligned like you guys. I don't got no Rishi rap stuff and all that. They're like, no, man, you gotta go because we gotta be equal partners in all this. And Thrall's like, fuck, all right. Then he goes in, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, and it's like, oh shit, send them back. Put them back. Yeah, so it does kind of suck that, with the story that goes on, like it would feel awkward to kind of force certain races, and I'm not even talking about factions, I'm just talking about races, to force certain races into it to make it feel like, oh, you got to show up too, and it's like, it doesn't sell too well. So like 12.1 or even 12.05 is it's already made island. People also said the blood elf chick in the cutscene is ugly. You can't trust opinions of people like that. Yeah. Well, what I find funny are the people who are trying, who like, they're screaming it, but they're not saying it with those words, but they're just like, okay, she's like ugly. We're tired of these. We're tired of these square-jawed, tough-looking, masculine-looking women. We want teardrop-faced, big booty anime chicks that happen to hold giant axes. They need a. So those are the folks that really need to play something like Raid Shadow Legend or something like that. So, sorry. But anyway, I got into it. I said I didn't want to get into it. What happened? God. Okay, I'm doing like a little bit of a reload here to see if there's like a thing. So this hasn't been updated, right? No. So it looks like that was probably the only thing that was said. So we're still waiting on a thing with Taliesin and Evitel, and I think that should be soon. Let me double check. So it's going to happen at 13:45. So that's now, right? Isn't it? So it's 10 o'clock. 11, 12, 13. Okay, it totally happened already. Right? Yeah, should have happened already. But there's no Wowhead article for it. So was anything said? Anyone know? Or anyone keeping track of that? Because that I am not certain of. Let's see. We don't have human-looking bloodos in Warcraft. We have these thin teardrop, super glowy-eyed elves in Warcraft. After all, so the actionable feedback from that is they need more character customization options. That was one of the bigger takeaways that I had after seeing the cinematic. Was like, oh, they need to, if that's the way that they're portraying Liadrin, because it doesn't match the in-game model, they need to add some more customization to make that sort of thing happen. Because this sounds crazy, all right? This is gonna sound crazy. Not every person looks the same. People are just shaped differently, and they're just born that way. Or they have a certain lifestyle and they become shaped differently. It's wild. When's the panel? Did I miss it? You did miss it. I mean, we have it. We went through it, and there is a Wowhead roundup for it. I'm gonna do my own roundup and give my takes on it. That's gonna come out in a few hours. But we were kind of going through stuff together, and the thing I'm gushing over most is the Transmog stuff. Let's see, system panels. Yeah. So the system panel did go up, and then it got pulled down for some reason. Wowhead did have coverage over it. The Taliesin never tell that the fireside chat that happened already, but we haven't seen anything. The Mr. GM fireside chat that happened, and there was like one bit of news. So, but no one. Let me look again and see if there's any like tweets or anything about the Taliesin Nevital one. Because if not, then okie dokie. Each race has one body type. Realistically, there should be a lot of variation. Not every human male is built like a bodybuilder. I agree. Like other things that are missing that were not announced, and I was just kind of hoping for, not expecting, but just hoping for. Like, if I play as a human, or if I want to choose to be a Stormwind human, I want to be able to choose between like the Stormwind body type and the Kultiran body type, because they're still humans. They're still people, right? If I'm a Worgen, I want to be able to choose between the Stormwind human and a Kultiran one, or a Kultiran shaped one. Like, why not? That makes too much sense. I mean, maybe that would result in a bunch of people picking up Kultirans with a Stormwind body type because they're just more attractive. If that's what they want, cool. But having that choice, I feel, is like the really important takeaway. Casters shouldn't look like bodybuilders. Yeah, and then of course, like, there's like those thinner humans and stuff too. But overall, like character customization overall, like, I'd love to just see a bit, a bit more flexibility there. The challenge with that though is because of the way that WoW is built, it doesn't allow for those kinds of big adjustments because of the way that they create their armor sets and all that. So undead using the house model or vampires model from Legion. I'd like that too. If you play, well, technically, actually, correct me if I'm wrong here. I am not as well versed on this next part. The Forsaken, are they all just former Lordaeron citizens, or are they all just former humans? Because I'd figure is that all Sylvanas was able to raise? Because she was, she was able to raise like elf people, and former humans, but I'd figure that hey, why not have, there were other races that were raised up, but I guess not the same way. Because basically, I'm just thinking of, like, can't Orc Forsaken and Torn Forsaken, like, can't that be a thing? I guess not. They can just make body type 1, 2, or 3, and 4 for the human shapes. Doesn't. No, I don't think that sounds crazy at all. I think that's very plausible. And again, they're all human. They're not genetically different. Between Void Elves and Blood Elves, they have these physiological differences because magic, but they're still essentially the same race. That's why it's. I always get side-eyed when I say, oh yeah, they're all High Elves. They're all, it's just how they're affiliated. That's it. And people be like, no, Alliance or High Elves. I'm like, whatever, dude. Sure. Whatever you want to say. UI on the left with the model and the outfit slots reminds me a lot of SWTORs and the show currently equipped gear on the top left. The Scourge did not reach Kalimdor. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, who did the Scourge kill? The Scourge, well, wouldn't they have not have also gotten, like, gnomes and dwarves and stuff? Maybe not a lot of them, I guess. Should I drop my Ethereal Cup? It's looking really grim. I think so. I think the healthier mindset is to just let yourself be pleasantly surprised, and not hang on to expectations too hard if it's difficult to handle. I'm destroying my coffee. Oh man, I had 4 shots too. Shucks. So yeah, the UI stuff is actually some of the stuff that I'm most excited over, which it's like, okay, should I be that excited? Because it's just these are things that are replacing add-ons in certain respects. But I am very excited about these. I like them. I'm surprised that the prey system is in fact going to give like more gear. So the new player stuff is important, but honestly not something that I really vibe with. Like, it's not really important to me because I am not a new or returning player ever, but well, whatever. That's just my personal thing. I think they were saying something about how you can get up to hero gear in the Great Vault from this, which could be cool. But I wonder too, like, I think they need to be pretty careful about how they handle that sort of about how they handle it, because like, if at what point do players be like, okay, I'm going to do this because this is the easier thing to do? It's easier to just do prey stuff instead of delves or something. And then that doesn't seem to be the case here. Because it sounds like you might only be able to do like some prey related content throughout the week, but you won't be able to fill up the vault with prey stuff. It'd probably be more time efficient for you to just also go down into delves and like do some stuff. So the moment power becomes a reward becomes non-optional. It depends though, because in this case, if it caps out at hero gear, that's going to touch certain audiences in different ways. So like folks who like do higher level keys, cutting edge raids, this is just going to be a quick step, and then maybe something to revisit later, because it's like, okay, I don't need the gear from here, but hey, the cosmetics are cool. I'll come in for that. For other folks, it's going to be like, okay, prey is kind of like it's a bit more of an exciting form of outdoor endgame, because maybe I don't feel like doing delves, or maybe it's kind of hard, or maybe I am outdoors, but I want to turn on the thrill, and so they turn on the prey system. But then other people are like, no, I just gather stuff, man. I'm not going to use prey at all on this character because I just want to gather stuff and like that's it. So they don't turn it on. Now, the multiple difficulties that I recall from here is like there's a normal, a hard one, and then there's a nightmare one. The normal one is something that people can help you with. You know, so you're not like phased by yourself. You're not. You know, it's not like a one-on-one thing. So if people happen to pass by and want to help you out, it's like, okay, cool. Let's smoke this dude together. But then the harder versions, like you're kind of in the octagon. It's like, oh snap, and you need to 1v1 these guys, and good luck. So, you know, there's going to be an element of skill for it, but I know that ultimately, when it comes to world content needs to feel agnostic. You know, no matter what your role, no matter what your class, you should be capable of doing that at some point. But tanks are going to be the winner. That's how it always goes, because they just outlast the enemy. Unless there's going to be some sort of mechanic that, you know, does like a healing reduction or something like that, or stacking damage if you're not doing enough, something like that. You know, an anti-tank mechanic, which I wouldn't mind. You know, I don't mind if it's like, hey, dude, you got to get good because you're a tank and you have these other perks and you need to like really push yourself to actually succeed. You can't just live longer than the other dude. So. They need a fourth setting to... Oh, you just don't do it. That's all. Because you have to go to someone. You have to go to someone. I forgot the dude's name. You have to go to someone, sign a contract or something like that to turn it on. So you don't have to turn it on. This is something that people can just be like, nah, I don't really feel like doing this. Maybe later, and then hop right in once they feel ready or once they have like the gear that they want. So that could be that might be a smart play. You know, it's like, okay, cool, I'm getting started with the game. Maybe I'll try out this prey thing. Ooh, I'm getting smoked. Whatever, I'll just turn this off for now until I get enough gear from Raid Finder, Delves, you know, low keys, whatever, Great Vault stuff. And then, okay, cool, now I have stuff. Now I feel like I can, like, crank things up. Let's turn on this prey shit. And there we go. Since I was remaking old areas, hopefully going forward, they look at older character races and make them playable. I guess if it makes sense, you know? If it makes sense. Like, in the storyline here, they're trying to work towards recruiting the Harroneer, because I guess they'll be useful in the fight to take down Xalatath. But do we really need to, like, be like, hey, champion, we need you to get freaking anybody. Find somebody. And then, hey, we get Tuskar or something like that. But, I don't know. To me, it's not super convincing to be like, hey, we got to get everyone into the fight. We need some bodies, yo. Anyone want to volunteer? And Tuskar are like, hell yeah, let's go. And then they bust out their big old Tuskar mecha, their tanks, their, you know, fell chaos magic and stuff, and then they pull out their Warhammer 40k warships, you know. They bust out into their like space marine armor, and then you see like the Tuskar thing, you know, Tuskar head coming out of it. They're like, what? You never called on us. We were waiting for it. Because we don't volunteer. You gotta come in and ask. Copenhagen, we still don't have the Glamour Ethereal, and just maybe we can get it. Wait, Glamour Ethereal? What's that? Epic Battlegrounds. This looks sick, by the way. Yeah, this does look cool. So, I'm seeing arrows, and I guess that's where like maybe NPCs will come from or something like that. Okay, so well, actually, let's look at this. So stages, Bastion of whatever, Ethereal defenses, Dominar battle. Okay, so you know what's weird about this is not a faction-based epic battleground. You know what I mean? So think of the snow one. Think of Alterac Valley. Think of Isle of Conquest. That has some pretty heavy Horde and Alliance kinds of things going on. This one is pretty nakedly, hey, here's the blue team. Here's the blue Dominar. Here's the red, purpley looking Dominar. You get dropped in here. Fight. So it's to me, it's less Horde versus Alliance, but more. I mean, I don't know. Part of me feels like this should be a faction agnostic battleground. Like you just join up and then you just get dropped in together, and it's just one team versus the other one. I don't. Yeah, I don't see faction pride here. That's not what I'm seeing. Now, of course, when we get in there, we might see Horde banners and all that stuff, and gnome heads on a stick or something like that, which could be cool. But otherwise, like I don't see why this just can't be like just this festival of violence, where you happen to be on one team or another, and you got to deal with it. So. Check the latest reward for Koresh Raid Renown. It gives you a Gleeful Glamour Ethereal. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that. Now, I do remember that there's going to be a Transmog, a new Transmog NPC that we'll get. Kind of it's going to be similar to the ethereal transmogrifier person that you got from the trading post, but this one just has like a brand mask on it, or something like, and a Pepe on top of the head, whatever. But that's a delve thing. So my assumption is Prey will cap at champ. It would make 3 hero pieces a week from open world content inside a while when you add in the Great Vault. Yeah, so yeah, assuming you do like a Great Vault thing, you do the Delver's Bounty, and then Prey, that's a pretty decent delivery of hero track gear. Now, of course, there is also the question of what sort of gear will you get from Prey? Is it going to be like, what sort of loot table is that going to come from? Is it going to be related to the Delve stuff, which is like, okay, that's okay, it's kind of cool, but maybe not. I do really like that there's a trinket vendor though, but that does seem to be on like this kind of rotating schedule. I haven't been keeping track of it, so I don't know what the schedule is exactly. They could flavor it as a void madness that affects factions to fight even if they shouldn't be. Could be, yeah. I mean, we're on the Void Storm place, and yeah, I say why not? Fuck the factions. That's how it's been. Even though some people try to make it into a faction thing, yeah, we haven't cared about the factions in years now. I don't know why I was reminded yesterday that I can play the way I want to, and I don't have to fly to the quest and be super fast. I can just take my time, and it felt so good. My plan so far is to when this expansion launches, I guess it's going to depend on what my urgency is to like really jump in and do the gold making thing like I did for War Within. If possible, I want to do the leveling on foot. I will not mount up at all unless I'm like super forced to, but at least with War Within, you're not forced to mount at any point. And I'm probably gonna want to try and do that again. You're gonna do that? Midnight feels not exciting in the slightest. That's okay. Yeah. See, what's funny is Midnight. You know when Midnight was announced? Midnight was announced November something 2023. It was announced almost 2 years ago. The biggest feature of Midnight, which, not everyone cares about. The biggest feature, player housing, when was that announced? A year ago, almost. Almost a year ago. And since then, we've been getting like little blog posts here and there. Big visits, went down to Boston to do a whole thing. Very exciting. So maybe that's where my excitement comes from, right? But imagine if maybe this wouldn't convince Frank over there, but imagine if everything was announced, preferably in one shot. But imagine if Midnight was announced, we learned the name and all that stuff. If we only learned all that just now, that'd be pretty wild. They would drop the big player housing bomb and everything else. I feel like they're skipping on uniting the elves for some reason. Well, they do talk about, at least within the Blood Elf faction, do they? I think there was like at least like one little shot of this. And I guess that's kind of sort of the activity, sort of. Where there are 4 different military factions within Blood Elf Society, and we try to bring them all in. I mean, maybe this would include like the Forest, the Forest Riders and other such things. I don't think they name dropped them, but that's going to be, it is going to be a thing to, like, a certain extent. Biggest draw of Midnight is being the middle part of a saga, which the middle of the saga is always the least interesting part of a saga. Lol. The double-edged sword of transparency. Yeah, it's definitely that. That's definitely a term that I use very, very frequently. It's like the whole thing of, hey, Blizz, we hate RNG. We're tired of it, blah, blah, blah. It's a fair take, right? And so Blizzard's like, okay, cool. We're going to tell you, what you can get. Here's the vendor. It's deterministic. Here's how you can get it. And here's how long. And people will look at it, and then what gamers will do, and I'll do this as well to a certain extent. We'll calculate how long it takes to get everything, not the first thing, not enough stuff to get most content done, but everything. And we'll be like, okay, gamers, here's what you have to do. You have to farm up 2,000 grateful offerings and 700,000 anima, to get all these things. And then you're only going to get like 4 grateful offerings a day and 200, blah, blah, blah. And so we create for ourselves like this doomsday, this super doomer scenario of, oh my God, this is going to be the most grueling shit ever. And yeah. Oh well. Why was the system panel removed? Someone was saying that there were actual problems with this video, with this upload, and that there were quality problems. I haven't looked through this version yet, but that would be, if true, that's a very plausible reason to pull the video. Like, if there's problems, like, that's bad. I mean, the fact that they pulled it in, the fact that they didn't realize it and then pulled it, that's also bad, but, I'm interested in Midnight with Blood Elf stuff, trolls, and some of the systems. I love Elf lore. I don't care for the new race. Yeah, this is like the expansion for me, for the most part, because whenever they've introduced new races, for the past, almost 20 years now, I'm like, all right, that's cool, staying with Blood Elf. The only thing that really interested me in recent years was when they did Zandalari trolls, because it's like, oh, they can be paladins. That's neat. Let's try them out. So I tried them out for like a few months. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Happy customer. And then I just switched back to Blood Elf, because that's it. They didn't say we will bring them in. We are going to have to balance our faction between them, I think. Not sure what that means. I wonder if it'll be like the faction change in... They were talking like it was like an Aldor versus Scryer thing, which is like, how would that work out? So do we only work on one? Or is it going to seem like a little bit more like the cartels in the thing, Undermine? And then we're going to go around Silvermoon picking trash. Sorry, mana trash. There we go. Mana trash piles. Why is the video private? I don't know. Let's see. They're very disorganized. We know. Oh my god, I found it. The worst tweet ever about this weekend, the expansion announcements. Okay. I still want the Blood Elf Paladin shields. Me too. What I want to see is more Transmog. That's what I'd like to see. But I guess we're going to find out soon. if beta or alpha, I'm sorry, is going to come out in like a few weeks. So that's all the catch-up stuff. There's lots of catch-up stuff. Voidstorm 1, Voidstorm 2. Okay, so the fact that this is going to be an outdoor thing too, this is another exciting thing that I'm kind of stoked for. I'm not a big PvPer at all. It's been a long time since I've cared about world PvP. The last time I tried to was the thing in Nazjatar, the battle for Nazjatar, and that to me was just kind of meh. This seems cooler so far, because it's kind of like an Ashran sort of feel, and I do sort of like Ashran, or at least I liked it better than Battle for Nazjatar, that's for sure. But I've been kind of preaching to the clouds, like, yo, we need to have like some better outdoor world PvP stuff. We can't, like, it's such a insult to just have like, hey, here's the world quest in this one area where you need to kill mobs and possibly kill players if they happen to show up. No, that's dull, man. That's boring. They start introducing more lore weapon mods for the players. I hope that one day we get Frostmourne mod. Nazjatar was also my last time. The pushed over the bridge and back was great. Yeah, for me it wasn't so good. I guess it's because I happened to be Horde and Alliance were always queuing up, and I always was in a match that was just super imbalanced, and we would just get blasted. So Void Elf Demon Hunter balancing is going to be interesting. One more spec, baby. One more spec. Let's see. Okay. So here's the tweet that Rye's talking about, where someone says, "Oh, cool. I guess the new expansion is a streamer exclusive now. The rest of us, the third-class customers, are apparently not worth Blizzard's time to inform directly. But hey, when it comes to pre-orders, suddenly our wallets are front and center. What the... Well, that's not so bad. Yeah. It's not serious sounding enough, I guess. I think the emojis, like, kill it. Yeah. I mean, that kind of looks like just a copy pasta sort of trolley kind of thing. That isn't trying to... It's not trying hard enough to make it sound serious. I was kind of surprised that I was able to mostly get through the video, because people were talking about, hey, everyone's getting cut off, but then, you know, I was able to sort of like jumpstart it again, I guess. I live near Blizzard HQ in Irvine, so I get a lot of research playtest invites. There's still playtesting housing. The one I got yesterday was for housing. Not sure how insightful that info is, haha. No, that's cool. Have you done? I mean, you don't need to get specific at all, King Dave. But have you participated in any of those? Because it sounds like they've been doing a lot of those invites, which is kind of cool. So they have been actively asking for people to like come in and check stuff out. I kind of hate that they're sticking with the 3-day early access. Really flubbed their War Within launch ML. Still, I'm shelling out the money for it because early access housing low. Hell yeah. How to get the video? It doesn't show up for me. I downloaded it. But yeah, otherwise it's been removed. Like maybe I'll do there's no easy forensic check that I can do to like easily like look. Actually, no, yeah, I can. I can look for errors. Hold on. Let's find out. I love a Scourge themed house. I don't know if they said anything about that. No, they've only talked about so like the outdoor housing things that they want to start with are going to be Orc, Human, Night Elf, and Blood Elf. Because, sorry, elves are like, it's our expansion now, baby. Sorry. I want to make a mini paladin order hall with my alts. That'd be cool, dude. Like the lots are huge. Like houses can be very, very, very big. Like the large room that you can put into a house, it's well over 100 yards across. It's big. It's quite big. It would be cool if you can put your alts in your house, but I can see why not. People are gonna keep asking until they can't anymore. Okay, so here we go. So check it out. So you see here how there's like nothing, right? Those are audio fuck ups. So that is 1833. So that's 20 something seconds of no audio there. And over here 28. So here's another 30 seconds of no audio. Ooh, that's a big oversight. Anybody who's doing this edit should have seen this. But for all we know, there might have been some sort of during the encoding process at these points there could have been some sort of fuck up on the computer, and then they didn't review it afterwards because this is a 30-minute video. But they could have done what I just did and take the video, throw it back onto the editor, and just do a quick look to see if like anything fucked up. But yeah, there's like two glaring. So imagine this. So yeah, I can definitely see this. So about when I started stream, this video was out for about half an hour or so, something like that, and then it was pulled shortly after. So at some point, people were noticing the errors, they reported it, or Blizzard was looking at them themselves, and they were like, oh shit, this video got fucked up, and that's why they pulled it. Yeah. So, okay, I get it. Sucks, but oh well. I want a cozy house, not huge. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a huge house. It could just be like the one room. And it doesn't have to be a large room. Or it can be a large room, but then you can use walls to like create a small, very cozy space. That's cool. I want to make a coffee shop. I want to make like an engineering workshop. That'd be cool. I want to make a little order hall. Well, okay, maybe not an order hall. It might just be a room with just shields. Nothing but shields. So what I think I'd want to do, I'd want to get like the large room that has like 2 stories to it, and then it's just gonna be lined with like shields. So like I'll create this like big circular space, and then I'm just gonna line it with like every damn shield there is. People are gonna go in, they're gonna have like an epileptic shock or something, because they're just gonna see all these different colors, like, oh my god, I'm blind. So I think I'd want to space it out, tastefully. Yeah. A coffee shop where it's all free, baby. Are there more shields than the decor limit? That's a good question. So in that case, I would need to have nothing in the house but shields. Just nothing but shields, baby. That's it. Sorry, guys, no room for anything else but shields. I'm having a room for each profession, and forest for my night elf, and silver moon room for my bell, and an X-star for my draenei. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Is the panel uploaded somewhere? It is uploaded somewhere, but the quality is fine. But I was doing a quick look, Rorik, and I'm seeing, you can kind of see here on my editor, there's like these 2 30-second gaps, and I'm pretty sure that's why the video was pulled. So they need to fix that if they haven't already. I figured they would, so. Or I figured that it should be back up soon. But maybe those people are asleep. I don't know. Literally hours upon hours of our time will be dedicated to housing. I can't wait to put on some long videos and go into town. I'm going to be very curious how, what sort of content creators are going to come out from this. I'm gonna, do my thing, and be a part of the whole housing, the whole housing vibe. But there's going to be some fantastic creators that come out of it who will like showcase houses, or they'll build them on their own, because I might totally suck at it. I'm confident that I'm going to suck at it, because there's some very, very creative people out there who have a lot of experience with housing, and I've never been good at it ever. So even with WoW housing, I won't be surprised if I continue sucking at it. Can your horde visit your alliance house? Yes. Now, the one thing I'm not sure about is, like, so here's an example. I go to my, I make a house on my horde. I make a horde house, and then I happen to get onto an alliance character, and I go to my horde house, so I can go there. But can I do edits? Right? Can I do edits with that character, or do I have to be a horde character to do it? I'd like to think that it doesn't matter what character I'm on, but it's a question that I'd like to get an answer to. I'd love to make videos of my house when we can, but I really don't know how to make a good video. I would, I'm probably going to take a look at like some of those, cribs videos and all that stuff, so I can like maybe do like a spoof on it. That'd be fun. Or just see how other people feature their homes, because that'd be fun as well. Can I make an alliance looking house in the horde area? I doubt it. Like externally, I don't think so. Internally, I think you are it's more open to whatever you want to make it out as. But I think while I'm not sure if there's going to be like race I think they did say there was going to be like a small number of race locked things, which I don't think should be a thing. There may be faction locked things, which is a bit more understandable. Cribs Lamau, yes. Get the import code for this professionally created Blood Off Loft with 12 rooms and 2200 decor for only $5.99 on wowhousing.com.ru/hack.legit.crypto. I don't know. What I do hope for, honestly, I want a non-faction, I want a non-race house kind of thing. Like I'm gonna keep saying this until they do it. I just want a door. I want a door that it's just a door. Just give me an upright door and I just walk in and then boom, there's my house. Or I want a portal, a teleport pad with like a little console, boop, 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 wow, and then it just takes me, and then it just beams me to my house. So in that case, under that context, you don't even know where the house really is. You just get transported somewhere, and with this lot is just your lot where your teleport pad is, or something like that. And then I can just tell myself I'm in space, and that'd be kind of cool. I want a tent exterior, pocket dimension. Yeah, that'd be cool. You would think that would be like, or like an outhouse. Go into the outhouse, boom, that's your house. I want the Vindicar. Nah, Vindicar doesn't have guns on it. It just, okay, it has the one gun. Now, if I want a spaceship, I want something like fucking Battlestar Galactica or some shit like that. Something cool. Or hell, I've been watching The Expanse and the Rocinante. That's a cool shit. That's a cool shit. It has a vibe that's similar to Starfield, which I haven't played in a while now, but I love that game. It's a fun game. It's, for a shooter, and I'm not very good with shooters anymore, but I do like Fallout games. So I like Fallout. Starfield is a blast. I love being able to create stuff. There. Expanse is biz. Yeah. No spoilers. I'm not that far in. Jukebox from Garrison so I can play chill music and drink Souls coffee. Hell yeah, dude. I would, yeah, I'll totally make like a during the housing showcase. One of the streamers, they made for themselves like a fake streamer setup. You know, they had like a table, they had some lighting stuff that was shining down on it. It's like, dude, check it out. Here's my streamer room. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Very meta. Is this the remix? Yes, this is the remix. Wait, I forgot how many days. I don't have that many days left, but I want to do some last minute testing. Because this coming week, I want to do a article video thing where I just kind of talk shit about the remix. Because right now it's really slow, and I'm just gonna give some feedback, some critical feedback as to how I feel about it so far, in hopes that it changes a little bit or a lot of bit. So 4 days. So today is going to be taken up with the whole roundup. Tomorrow is going to be wrapping up the roundup and doing the Monday reminder video. So Monday I will work on this. That's the plan. I hear that it sucks in comparison with Mob Remix. Sucks is a pretty heavy word, but you know, I'll go with that. It's slow. It's really slow. Like the whole power fantasy kind of thing. I'm not seeing it yet. I can see how it might work, but the numbers just aren't matching up with it. And so I just hope the numbers change. That's like the big thing. Because I haven't really gotten to that point where I'm reaching like escape velocity and I can start soloing stuff. But at around, when I was like at a lower level, when I was at like level 30, level 40, I was able to solo some dungeons. I'm like, okay, cool. But then at level 80, it's a big struggle trying to do it. But I still kind of can. It's just hard. And so I just think that the tuning and whatnot, it's just not right yet. The video's back? Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. It's back, yay. Hello again. Okay, so okay, now I'm curious. Let's get this one. Let's see if this one is good. Do, do, do. Poor team, man. They're just getting one L after another. But they're still pushing, so props to them for like just trying to power through. All right, so I'll let the download go, and then we'll see how it looks. Oxley, hey, what's up? Imagine they're adding the surprise at the end, allied ethereals. Ta-da! Surprise! Void Paladin named the Fallen for or Oathbreaker would be cooler than a Void Demon Hunter, and this coming from a guy who never played a Paladin. Yeah, but then the story clearly didn't take us in that direction. It could have, but it didn't, so yeah, oh well. That would be something though, right? Who gets a new spec? Paladins. Demon Hunters are like, yo, dude, come on. You know? I was joking at one point. I was like, yeah, so here's what's going to happen, guys. I think there is going to be, this is it. There's going to be a new specialization going to druids. Druids are going to get a new form. What kind of form? Demon form. Demon Hunters are going to be like, what the fuck? No way. Plausible. Not really. Holy crap, it's loud. Oh, is it? Yeah, hold up. Let me turn off the browser volume. I want to listen for myself now. Oh, this is the old video. Wait. I got the old video back? Is that what happened? Hold on. Okay, so here's the other one. It seems fine. Yeah. Doesn't sound so bad. I think the start of it seemed loud. But yeah. Okay, this is funny though. Like they unprivated this one, too. Oh, never mind. Okay, now it's gone. Bye. All right, so let's take a look and let's do a check for them. Let's do them a favor. Make sure that the audio is good. So same thing, same length and all that. That hasn't changed. Oh, but check it out. It's clean. So like here's the difference. So let me take this and I'll underlay it over here. So basically here's what was fixed. It was like these two big gaps. Oh yeah, and also the here, let me show you. The video freezes here too. So it's just dead. Like you can see here, it's running, and then frozen. Yeah, so I think it was just a bad encoding. And they didn't look, or bad encoding or a bad upload. So, but I'm gonna guess it was a bad encoding because will there be a panel tomorrow? No, not to my knowledge. I think this is it. I don't think there's going to be a one after this. I logged out for a reason. Why? Why did I log out? Whatever. Okay, let's do a double check and see if there was anything from the fireside chat with Taliesin in them. Oh, how long? Yeah, thank you. And I did find out. I only had a few more days. Okay, cool. Yeah, so busy work schedule for me, at least. Thank you for reminding me, Lee. I tend to do that. Yeah, my mind is, I'm like super scatterbrained like 100% of the time. All right. Now, one thing for me is the remix has been unstable too. So I'm just gonna like just play around for a bit and do stuff. I just want to see if it DCs me or not, because then at least I'll be able to like get like good footage and all that as I do the write up and recording and everything. Am I the one who thinks that what was shown was not really enough for a full add-on? I would factually disagree that, you know, does this feel like a big patch is what some people are saying. No, this is an expansion. But if you don't feel satisfied, I'm not going to fight you there. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I was saying earlier that Midnight was announced back in 2023. And we already knew what was coming. We know the features. You know, we've been learning about like the biggest feature for the expansion, player housing, over the past year. And so the newer things that we get might not seem as exciting. You know, some people are like, well, give me something that's as cool as Delves. Prey isn't enough. That feels like, you know, that doesn't feel like a big thing at all. And, you know, maybe it's not. But it also goes to show that the kinds of features that WoW's throwing down lately are like pretty permanent things. So it's like, how much can we crowd the field? You know, at the very least, I can give WoW credit and be like, okay, they're not being like a mobile game where they just keep stacking stuff to do, where it's like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, and all this and all that stuff. And that becomes like pretty heavy, kind of overwhelming for people. At the same time, they're continuing to refine on the features that they have been introducing. Like, okay, delves are going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like this. We add a little bit more outdoor world content with a supplementary thing like this. Here's how dungeons and raids are changing, yada yada yada. So, I think it's important to not forget about the features that are coming in that are sticking around, because we'd like for them to be improved upon. Is Remix going to be like Mob Remix, where it gives you the option on the same realm? Oh, is your character on the same realm? Yes, basically. But I mean, these days that doesn't really matter because you can have unlimited characters on your realm. We are going to get 5 more character slots, which is cool. I'll be honest, the only new stuff I'm looking forward to is housing big time and the new prey system that looks like fun. It looks kind of cool. Honestly, I'm not too excited about the prey system because as a tank, I'm like, okay, bring it. To me, it's just it's just another mob that shows up. Now, I might be proven wrong, and if so, let's go. But at the moment, the early impression I have is, oh well, as a tank, okay, whatever. As a healer, it's like you turn it on, it's like death sentence. That's how it feels to me. So for them, it's gonna feel like a game, and that's gonna be cool. But at the same time, because thankfully it's not like a required thing. I think that would turn a lot of people off if it felt like required. It's like, oh, you have to do prey to get this MacGuffin thing, and that's going to be, make you really, really powerful in raids and dungeons and keys and delves and what have you. Then it would have like this sort of like Torghast kind of feel, sort of requirement that would turn people off real fast. And I think we've just moved on from that for the most part. What am I excited about? Housing, absolutely. Housing stuff I'm excited for. The transmog things are something that I've been wanting for a good long time now, but definitely housing. Housing has been my white whale as a content creator for years and years, and now I'm getting it. So now it's like, what's next? Now what do I fight for? Because at first my thought was, okay, I'm going to fight for these transmog changes, and they're doing that too. So it's like, now what? Now I'm just going to be unhappy all the time. Actually, no, I take that back. It's going to be me going back to wanting to lean harder on social tools, helping players get connected better, because they're not. We heard Holly Longdale in a post at least talk about utilizing external external social media like Discord to help people group together, or at least it was strongly hinted at that. Haven't seen that manifest yet. I hope that becomes a thing soon, but clearly it doesn't look like it's going to be something that we'll see for launch. So, fight for us to transmog any type of armor to other types. Not something that I champion for. I mean, if it happens, great, but it's not something that I'm so passionate about that it's like they gotta do it, otherwise this game is bad. So, yeah, I'm with you, but I'm not. To me, it's not that big of a deal. It would mean, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna be doing more transmog farming. Well, that's about it. And it would make the random button feel really random. Whoa, baby. What is a hunter without the hunt? Absolutely. And personally, like when it comes to transmog, I personally still draw the line at class sets. I would like to have like maybe one color that is class agnostic, or like any, even if it's like a paladin set. I think it would be cool if at least one color was available as something that other players can use, but like the others can be, stuck to like their class to make them feel special and all that, at least appearance wise. I'm still all for that. How come I can't see what other people are writing in text? I'm not sure. I would like fewer restrictions for weapons. Biz is always dagger and offhand, but I like stabs. Well, for like transmog and stuff. I get that. I think that makes sense. I wonder what happens after the light and void fight. That's supposed to be the end of the universe, yeah? I don't know. Like the Warcraft universe has been shaping itself to be, cosmic-wise. We're surrounded by all these grand powers that have their own agenda. And the people, the normal folks, the mortals, they're stuck in the middle. And we just gotta try and survive that. That's been, like, the thing. What am I doing here again? Oh, yeah, there's quests. Fight for better cloth and cloak physics and fidelity. I want cloaks like in Helldivers 2. Flat square sheets of paper are unworthy for WoW 2026. I wonder how much people do care about like those sorts of physics. Look, for me, I'm not a cloak person anyway, but I mean, it would be cool to have. And I'll try it out for a second. I'm like, all right, cool, and then I'll take it off real fast. I'll stick to the flaps on my tabard. I'm cool with that. Or make class-specific armor sets, but add die as a transmog a feature. I mean, with them adding a die system to furniture, I think it's just a matter of time before they're like, okay, we're going to start doing this with like new armor sets going forward. I somehow doubt that they'll ever do it for old sets though, because that's a lot of catch up, and that's just a lot of that's a lot of work to go through like those old sets. You know, maybe over time they'll like do, hey, let's remake some more class sets and stuff. They'll do like some updos, and hey, now it has a die system attached to it. Woohoo! Yeah, that could be a thing. But I don't quite see them being like, okay, let's pull up like the old gray sets from vanilla, and we're going to updo those and add a die system. I don't see that. Hope it's life versus death next. Lol, let's see wild nature magic and WoW. I want to see something more grounded, honestly. I want to see just the Arathi Empire step in and be like, yo, Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, you don't got your shit together. We're going to step in because we're better than you guys, and, we'll do a much better job of protecting the world than you guys can, because you guys are just all crazy. And so I would like to see the Arathi become like this big, not necessarily a big bad, as in they're evil, they want to destroy everything, but more like just an antagonist. Like they want to get rid of the Horde and Alliance as government because they're just not doing so great at defending their own lands, and they feel like they can do better, so they're going to conquer the place. I think that'd be a cool... it's a very simple, but I think a very effective premise. So... Oh, yeah, I saw the panel videos up. I even, like, downloaded it again to see, like, where the changes were. And it's like, okay, cool, they fixed it. Yay, go for them. Kira, hey, what's up? Were you out... Did you go to Germany? I don't think I saw you. So I don't recall if you went. And it's not. You didn't go. What's wrong with them? My God. Message him to finish his interview. I thought he did finish his interview, because we were looking at a recap from Wowhead, and that was like hours ago, right? Unless there was like another thing that happened. Was there another interview? Anything that gives me more old world revamps. That would be cool. I'm so sad I didn't get to go, but hopefully next year. I thought of going. I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'll just throw down and go, and then I'll participate in some of the stuff. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it seemed like it was kind of chaotic. So this is from like 2 hours ago now. So there's that. No, it's all good, Kata. I just wasn't sure if there was like, oh, there is something new. I'm like, oh, nice. Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. Like, just like everyone else, I'm like looking for alerts or like for people to point stuff out. I'm like, ooh, and I'll grab it again, because I've been trying to get all sorts of different, get all the info so I can spit it back out at everyone. Let's go check out the other side. Yeah. Or, I don't mind if, like, the other side of the world came to us. Or, again, like the Iraqi Empire, like, if they staged, like, this huge attack or something like that, and then who comes in to save the day? Nathanos Black Collar. Oh, shit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only saying that because Kira's in chat. Okay. Here's a brave question. Any Nathanos fans out there? I admit it. I like hating that guy. He's such a dick. He is such a dick. But at the same time, he is like he's like one of the more consistent characters in the Warcraft universe. Just dick all the time. No, there's no soft spot to him except for Sylvanas, of course. I joked that it's a half joke actually, because this is just pure fantasy. After the events of he meets up with Tyrande. Tyranda's like, hey, look, your head, whoop, and did that stuff. I was joking that, maybe he just didn't die. Maybe, he lost his head, but maybe he didn't actually die. That's why, no one found him in the Shadowlands or nothing. So, like, the body took the head and just ran off, and now they're just going on adventures. And they're just like doing shit. Nathanos is like, I gotta rethink. What kind of person am I? What have I been doing? Who I've been serving? Sylvanas hasn't come back to like save my butt. I gotta fend for myself. And so now he's doing his own shit. I was joking that like, during Dragonflight, when everyone was predicting, oh yeah, dude, Emergil or like the World Tree is gonna come up west of Onaran Plains. I was joking like, dude, here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen, guys. Some magic thing's gonna happen, and then a new island is gonna just pop up, and the island's gonna be shaped like Nathanos' face. And then Nathanos Dragon is gonna pop up, like, yo, like somehow during his adventures he got like a whole dragon form, and now he's back, and he's here to save the day. Yo. I guess in this case, now I gotta wind it back to something else. Now it's like, okay, he got onto a boat, and then the boat just happened to go to the Arathi place, and then the Arathi was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then like Nathanos is like, oh shit, and so now he's the emperor. Yeah, now he rules the Arathi Empire. Let's go. See, Kira's a fan of it. Let's go. Since it's on my official headcanon, oh, I love that. That's awesome. Horton was so happy to see him fall to Tyrande. Yeah, I guess. Let's see, how likely do you think they'll reveal Last Titan at BlizzCon 2026? Zero chance. No chance of that. Arceptra. I mean, think about it like this. So, as of about this week, during this week, The War Within is 1 year old. Yay! It's a year old. Woohoo! Happy birthday, War Within. Now, think about that though. 1 year after the expansion launches, we get the announcement for the next expansion. So let's make a prediction here. Let's pretend that Midnight launches late February, early March. That's my prediction so far. I'm going to stick to it. If the scheduling here is the same, then we should expect the Last Titan announcement to happen around late February, mid-March. That is, the next BlizzCon is going to come, I believe, September of 2026. That is way too soon. Because you still got October, November, December, January, February. You still got like another 6 months until we hit 1 year. We're only going to be like 6 months into Midnight. By the time BlizzCon comes up, there's no chance that we're going to see that. So I was looking around too. I was doing the research and I was double checking, okay, what major gaming conventions are happening around that time frame, late February, early March? Nothing. Nothing cool, no packs, no, there's no stage, right? There's no pre-established stage for Blizz to be like, yo, we want to jump in on your convention and like do a thing. There's like some anime conventions, I think, but I don't think that counts. So I have a feeling that when they do announce Last Titan, it's going to be like a BlizzConline thing. It's going to be like this, this meaty, pre-recorded quote stream where we'll get the info, the devs will come up, they'll say their rehearsed lines and all that stuff, and it'll be that. And then it's going to be followed up by whatever interviews that happen to come up with media creators, that sort of thing. The usual fragmented information, not like this, but the usual fragments of information that we're accustomed to during like a BlizzCon plus expansion announcement. So that's the prediction. I'm pretty confident about it right now because of the timing. And when it comes to the timing, they haven't made any like huge deviations of whether it's patches or different announcements. Like folks like me who've been making predictions, we've been pretty close. We're off by like a week or so, but that's about it. So that's my guess. Question is, do we kill Xal'atath? Does she escape? Does she get trapped in the heart? Or does she end up back in the dagger? Dun dun dun. Arathi Emperor is on the other side of Avalon, so we might get that in a midnight patch. I hope it's not just a patch. Like, I mean, if we get like a visit from the Arathi Empire and we get like, shots fired kinds of vibes, that'd be kind of cool. Sort of a tease. Last Titan's going to happen. We'll cap at 100. The one skin, the World Soul Saga, is finally over. Predictor rehab of sorts. They'll have to rework leveling because we do not want 120 again. Lol. I predict that too. Yeah, so I think there's going to be like another squish of sorts. Although this upcoming squish seems like it's going to be pretty big. We're going to be brought down from, where is it? So the way that this is being framed, I think I want to get like a quote. Maybe by the time I do a recap, maybe a video will be out. But they're saying item level 700 to 100. Now, if we're getting this, but we have 90 levels, then the item level spread is going to be kind of odd. Because that's a lot of levels, a lot of character levels, not a lot of item levels. But I think when they say 100s, it might not be literally 100. I hope. But we'll see. 100 back to 50 and level 60 again. Because honestly, I thought it would have made a lot more sense if they did a stat squish or level squish for War Within. That way they would do like the whole scaling up of stuff, and then at the end of the saga, then they would do another squish. So there would be a squish every fourth expansion, or something like that. Not to say that they have to do another saga, because in hindsight, we might, fans might be like, you know what, doing a saga, 3 expansions, nah, let's not do that again. That's always on the table. But at least that's kind of what I figured with like regarding level or stat squishes, that every 4 expansions, if they can make that make sense, then hey, cool. Then all old console will be weirdly tuned again, I'm afraid. I mean, that's how they do it. Or that's what they've been doing, so. I just wish at this point to just wait till after Last Titan, then do a stat and level squish at the same time. Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, they might do it anyway, right? Ultimately, though, is, getting the news. Here's something that fans do a lot, too. We do a really good job of psyching ourselves out and getting stuck in like this whole doomer mindset because of the news that we read. But then by the time we really like get our boots on the ground and we see what's going on, then it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. Because either it really isn't that bad, or because they responded to feedback. Usually it's a little bit of both. So like, for example, like the whole Silvermoon thing. You know, when they say, oh, there's only going to be a small space for that's a shared space, and then the rest is for the Horde, people are getting pissed over that. But what if this small space, you know, in the context of how big these cities are, what if the small space is as big as old Silvermoon City? And it's actually, like, pretty damn big. It just seems, you know, it's just being called small because, you know, the rest of the rebuild of Silvermoon City really is, like, that big. Might be something like that. But, oh well. Ian did say a while ago, I don't remember, but they know what they're doing now, so old content shouldn't be that much. I mean, they have experience doing it. I have a feeling that, you know, there's still going to be bugs and problems and whatnot. Like I don't, I expect that, but also they know how to handle it too. And you know, we've survived a number of stat and level squishes already. Or, okay, we only did one level squish so far, but we've endured, you know, these things a number of times. I'm just used to it. I killed the coffee. Damn. Faster than I thought. The sweet apprentice in Eversong just told me some taint in the soil from the scourge is irreversible. Guess she was wrong. She's just okay. All right. I'm still online, so it means the remix is not busted. Yay! But problem is, the pacing still sucks. So I've been max level for a little while now. But let me try to find like a rare or something to. Oh, I should go to Suramar. There we go. I'll go to Suramar and then we'll see how things feel. Might suck. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. This isn't a usual stream day for me. Usually I'm off. But I wanted to be present because, you know, because doing this coverage has been fun. I dare not look at how my actual performance is doing, like numbers and stuff. Oh, comparison is the thief of joy. I wouldn't be able to mentally handle it. But let's go this way. I'm going to, yeah, I'll do that world quest and we'll see how this feels. I doubt that they did any tuning though. I think they're mostly going to look for like feedback and whatnot. How would Illidan react at Void Elf Demon Hunters? Good question. I'm sure he'd be like, you know, I know how you guys feel. We've been there. Okay, so let's try a bunch of these guys and see if I like get like mauled. So wings, demon dude, let's go. Yeah, so the damage is huge. I'm doing like 4 million, 5 million deeps. But I would expect to do like, you know, hit bigger numbers. Not bigger numbers, but actually just be able to kill these guys fairly quick. And then I'll do my super move. Boom. There's another fat thing. So I'm doing a little around 6 million deeps. But yeah, these guys are just spongy, man. Spongy. I hope it's just the numbers. I think it's just the numbers that need to be tweaked a little bit. Could probably give them a side eye and ask who are these god kids. Children. Haha. Or watch Illidan's like, oh, void stuff, and then he instantly changes into a void demon, and he's like, I'm just not a big fan of purple. Says the night elf who looks extremely purple, but you know. It's like he already knew. He's like, I wanted to teach you good shit. Not this pansy void stuff. And then all the void demon hunters like, oh, daddy's dissing on us. Shoot. I wonder if Silverman will be a copy paste of this city but Blood Elf themed. It didn't look like it. Like a literal copy? No. Like, I think we've seen enough, like, screenshots and whatnot that it looks very, very different. I heard that some places were saying, like, it's supposed to be bigger than Suramar. Something like that. Okay, so I'm finding kind of more normal guys, but pop this dude again. Okay. I did do quite a bit more damage this time. Or I killed, like, this guy that I needed easily. I think what some folks are ticked off about with the remix is that when it comes to the scaling or the stat farming, it's a lot more controlled. Like, you can't just farm up haste the way you used to, and so you wouldn't have like this extremely, you know, dots that are just popping like crazy. Like, that's not a thing, and I think that's taking people off too. So I think if they were to like at least tweak the numbers to like, okay, we won't have crazy ass haste, but we're still going to be hitting as hard and still fulfilling the power fantasy, I think that'll still help. Is there a date for the Legion remix already? Not exactly, but it's guesstimated to launch with the 11.25 patch. So that is dated for, I forget, next month, basically. Will Void Elves have their eyes burned out as well, but purple? See, what's kind of funny is that, you know, as far as I know, Demon Hunter elves are basically, are kind of sort of the same generation as the other Demon Hunters. That's sort of a guess of mine, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's kind of a half and half thing. But at least it would have made a little bit more sense to me if there wasn't like a new generation of Demon Hunters, because it's like, how did they become Fel? Or is it just like, or gameplay wise, is it, yes, you can switch between whatever specs, but if you're playing as a Void Demon Hunter, then you're canonically like a Void Elf. I don't know. It's a little confusing to me. So. Yeah, that was data mine stuff. And I think the guesstimated patch date, I think if we count the number of weeks, I think we get to September 30th actually. If we want to count 8 weeks after 11.2 released. So it could be that. So it could be that the patch is September 30th. It could be October 7th, and there might be a 9-week gap between patches, because I pointed this out the other week. The wait time between 11.17 and 11.2 was 7 weeks, not 8 weeks. This might be making up for it, where the gap between 11.2 and 11.2.5 is 9 weeks instead of 8. So that can work. But but whatever the case, it's only a 1 week difference, right? I'm pretty confident that the October 7th or whatever date, like, that will be the start of the remix. What's 8 weeks after that? 8 weeks after 11.2.5 would be 11.2.7. And with that is the data for player housing. Yeah. But we'll also be well into... am I going to DC? I think I'm going to DC. Okay, we're not as stable as I thought. I do like this gray... I do like this very grayed out... Wait, is that an effect? Or is that my actual gear? It looks like that. I think that's an effect. Any more news on permanent comp stop? There wasn't much. There's like what little was revealed during the panel, but the one thing that they didn't answer that I cared about was, can I still get Conquest doing that? What's 8 weeks after 11.2.7? Maybe the pre-patch. Now, here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing, too, Kimberly. Between 11.2.7... Ooh, I'm flying. Between 11.2.7 and 12.0 is Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. You know, so there's some big holiday breaks where typically any worker with a family is going to take some extra time off. In previous WoW expansion, you know, releases and whatnot, they've been adding like another 2 weeks to the typical patch cadence. So there's a chance that between 11.2.7 and the 12.0 pre-patch, it might be 10 weeks instead of just 8. So trying to gauge, you're trying, yeah, no, that's fine. But that's where I came up with February, March as the launch date, because I'm factoring in 8 to 9 weeks for this coming patch, 11.2.5, another 8 weeks for 11.2.7, 10 weeks for the pre-patch, and then 5 weeks for the, you know, between that and the expansion launch, and I come up with about February, March. Sorry. I think they said they're going to take the holidays more into consideration this time. Yeah. So that, again, that's just a guess, and yeah, it might be a couple weeks off, but. And they did straight up say there's going to be no season 4, so there's that too. So it's not going to be like that long. I wonder how I ended up all the way here. They super rolled me back, or this totally rolled back my location. Oh well. But it looks like the build, it looks like the PTR is still pretty unstable. It's just more stable than it was than previous days. How about I can play Void Elf, Demon Hunter, and Legion Remix, man? It doesn't sound like it. It sounded like the, at least from what the panel showed, the new Demon Hunter stuff, the Void Elf stuff, Void Elf Demon Hunters, that's not going to be anything until the pre-patch. And we can pretty confidently say so far that the Legion remix will end before the pre-patch. Ian was asked in an interview yesterday today if it was June. He said on or before. Yeah, that's what they do. Because you never know. There might be some catastrophic thing that makes them delay it. You know, I don't have wood to knock on, but yeah, something crazy might happen. So hopefully it doesn't. What date do I think Player Housing will come out? I have like a snazzy calendar somewhere. Oh, it's on the live account actually. Well, since I'm done here, I'm gonna wrap up stream pretty soon. So let me hop on and I'll answer that question real quick. Sayuki, hey, what's up? Okay. I hope Wolf will show up at your house. Wolf? Must accompany me on my journey through Eversong. All right. I think it's on this character. Yeah. So okay, so September, I'm guessing a 9-week gap. 11.2.5 comes out. The remix begins the same day. because that's what the language of their announcements have said, that the remix will start with the 11.25 patch. 2 weeks after that, phase 2 of the remix begins. The turbo boost is estimated to kick in at around that time too. 11.27 is estimated for the week before Thanksgiving. And then as for player housing, I don't know. Phase 4 remix of the remix will start on the same day. This is again just a guesstimation. But then between this and the possible 12.0, we're going to get like nothing. So we're going to get like an extended wait. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, possible 10 weeks here. Now it says that the remix ends on the 19th, so maybe this, so maybe the 12.0 will come out on January 20th and not the 27th. So I might be off by a week. No big deal. Typically, the pre-patches have been 5 weeks long, so we would be looking at the week of the 27th would be when early access begins, and then March 3rd is when midnight launches. Or this could move up, where the 20th is the early access, and then the 24th is the midnight launch, whatever. So something like that. He said it drops with 11.27. I didn't quite read the language, so yeah. I mean, what I'm going to pay attention to is when 11.25 launches. Around this time, maybe the week of or the week after, the PTR for 11.27 will launch, and we're going to be in the alpha by then, right? We'll be in the alpha by then, but the hope, I'm sure, is that housing will be testable on the PTR as well. So that way the public will be able to get in on it, whether or not they had pre-ordered midnight. So then like a month and some later, that is when hopefully 11.7 will launch, and then we'll be able to do early access stuff. And hopefully by then we can check out outdoor decor, because that's not a thing yet. So, Jesus, it's a long ass time. How am I going to wait? Like when they announced housing back in 2024, late 2024, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a long ass wait. And here we are. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's so soon in WoW expansion links, though. Lol, I know they said 18 months, but damn, yeah. I think it's like 16 months actually for this one. So August. So here we're hitting a year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's like, yeah, 18 months ish, something like that. Please let us save PTR house stuff for live. Maybe not. Right? I mean, we'll I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we won't be able to find out until the patch goes live, which will suck. But I would love to know like how the importing and all that stuff will work too. It's like, if we save a house and we want to paste it, or if someone takes a copy of our house and wants to make it for themselves, but they don't have everything, what happens? Does it error out? Does it does it just not let you do anything? Does it only let you place what you can, or what? I'm hoping it's the latter, so that way if people at least want to like save a layout and whatever decor that they can, then they can do that. But for the other stuff, it's like, okay, they can't. That would make sense. But also, like someone was joking and talking about, hey, I can sell my layout or something like that. I mean, that's super against TOS. We'll see how long that lasts. But people will try to do that. They can sell it for gold. I bet it's just the house design, not decor inside. That wouldn't be much though, because all that is just the layout. Room here, room here, room here, room here, and nothing more. So, yeah, that won't really be much. Yeah, that's not really worth copying. But it could be. I would just not have very pleasant things to say about it. I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. That's not very much at all. You know, people would want to have, you know, if people want to be lazy, let's not joke around with that. If people can, they want to try to not do that work if they can get away with it. Let me see what dailies are here, just in case. I'm pretty sure I looked at these before. I just want to make sure that there's no shield here. Come on, shield. Nope. I think I did look at this yesterday. And this doesn't change until they move, which I don't know when that's going to be. I'm trying to keep an eye out for, like, I've been trying to keep an eye out for whether there's a shield. There's still a shield that comes from here that I still haven't gotten, and it's sad song. Gauntlets, arm plates, nothing. Okay. All right. So I think I'm ready to go. So the plan is I'm going to do lunch in a bit, and then do kind of a brief recap of what we've learned from this particular video that had to come out twice. And then I'll get right to work on implanting that over to the big recap where we learn everything. So I'm going to head out. You guys have a fantastic weekend. You guys have a great day doing whatever that you do. I'll see you guys for the next thing. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always,